Friday night and eRacing GP is back on your screens. If you're rushing home from work to get into the cockpit, you'd better get there pretty darn quickly because it's a little bit tight on Friday night. 3 races coming up your way, or 3 categories. We've got Group A and B of the Gold Edition and the Copper class as well. Alex, we've had a week off. Yep. That's allowed maybe 1 or 2 of the drivers to really get up to speed with things.
Yeah, it's just kind of nice for me to just do nothing on the weekend. But I have to say I have missed the racing. As the week's built, gradually look forward more and more to the racing right now. We are at a different track. We're at one of the old school tracks, Imola, which should make it quite tasty for the drivers. It's quite a different track to the usual Formula 1 modern day circuits we've been racing at. So it'll be fun to watch.
We've got 14 drivers out on the circuit at the moment, but there's still plenty of time for the rest to get themselves onto the practice. As they do so, let's just tell you or show you a little bit about what eRacing GP is all about. We're on round 4 of 6 of the season, and the championship leader is Alif Hamilton, but he has a real contender. These are the highlights from week 4, and a great weekend for Nakib Aslan, but another victory for Alif Hamilton. Eventually we're underway. Timo Iskander is the man who was given an initial pole position. I'm not sure how that works. Jacques Cizroyo alongside him. So Jacques Cizroyo has got off to a decent start. Currently in 2nd place. Josh Perwin is also off to a good start. Andy Karama in the midst of things there as well. So Andy Karama is right there, and we are on board with Alif Hamilton. Alif started on the 4th row of the grid, and he's currently now in P7. Jacques Cizroyo it is who holds on to the lead. Josh Perwin in P2. There will be a compulsory pit stop, and the tactics going into that pit stop we've seen throughout Season 1 and Season 2 of eRacing GP, really dictated who ends up on the podium, who ends up with the gold medal. Let's go back up to the top. Josh Perwin overtakes Jacques Cizroyo and takes the lead for the first time. The 17-year-old Perth-based Aussie into the lead. Cizroyo, Kalen Chin, Alif and Nakib are right behind. Alif goes into P3 ahead of Kalen Chin. Nakib tries to follow the Singaporean. So 2 changes of position in the top 5 over 2 corners. So halfway is approaching. Mohammed Alif Hamilton is leading the way. Hope you're enjoying this. We're live on Facebook, Twitch and YouTube, and the broadcaster's taking this as well. It may not be real life, but these guys are treating it like real life. Alif Hamilton has a lead of 0.7 of a second from Josh Perwin, who's gone into the pits this time. So Alif Hamilton with the pit stop. Be cautious this time. I'm sure you just want to accelerate away, but you're kept down on your limiter. Now he comes out, and Alif Hamilton, will he come out in the lead? Well, Rama Danindro hasn't pitted, so Rama is ahead of him. But Josh Perwin is ahead of him. Oh, he was. And Alif Hamilton just managed to pull off the maneuver to stay ahead of Josh Perwin. How close was that? Alif is the immovable force, and Kalen Chin, having been relegated down to P4, is certainly not going to give it up. Miko Nasi in P5, a 2.5 down. He just can't make that gap up because there's so few errors being made by that front 4.
Alif, though, he really does look more controlled. Look at that Perwin running wide. Will that cost him time? Nakib's going to go down the inside. He's going to give it a go. He is. They make the corner side by side. Oh, that's going to let Kalen through. Kalen's going to go up to P2, and he does. The Singaporean up to P2, and that's allowed the fellow Singaporean Alif Hamilton to just break away at the front.
Kalen Chin saw the opportunity and grabbed it with both hands. He's into P2.
Nakib goes down the inside of Perwin, has contact, but looks like he's made the move.
As indeed.
Can he now extend that gap? Can he now get up to Kalen Chin?
They'll have this, they'll complete this lap and then one more after that. Is that about right?
I think that's about right. But whoa, look, Nakib's got the DRS. He's going to go to the outside. He's going to go around the outside at turn 4, and he does. He makes it easy.
Kalen Chin has dropped down to P7, Alex. Sorry to cut in. Ayman Hazik has got into P4. Something has happened to Kalen Chin, and he is slowing right down.
Yeah, I think he's got a puncher. Look at that. He's got a puncher. He's struggling to keep the car on track. We just talked about tyre wear being so hard.
Andika overtakes Kalen Chin up at the front. Alif goes round the penultimate corner. Alif is just about set. He will come home and take an imperious victory by over 3.5 seconds. Alif Hamilton for Singapore wins it. Nakib for Malaysia in second. Eamon Haziq beating off Josh Perwin for P3. Jason Tay in 5 holds off Miko Nasi. Andika Rama has a bonus 7th, and poor old Kalen Chin limps in 8th place. But Alif Hamilton in set, well, will just extend his already good lead at the top of the championship standing. So another victory for Alif Hamilton, but it was a good weekend for Nakib Aslan, and he slightly closed the gap in the overall championship standings. If you look at that table, it looks as though Alif has got an easy ride home to the title with just 2 more races to go. However, let's not forget that you can drop 1 round of results. In fact, you must drop 1 round of results, and if you do that, Alex Young, the whole situation looks very different.
Look at that. Only, what's that, 13 points separating the top 3. Alif Hamilton just 2 points in front of Andika Rama, who's in the middle there. Andika, if he hadn't had that mechanical issue in the Gold final, he would definitely be leading the championship at the moment. But as it is, Nakib was able to capitalize on that in the last round. So it's really pulled these 3 very, very close indeed. And Des, it's getting to the point where it's really, really hard to call.
And there are big points available every race weekend. You've got 2 opportunities in the qualification stage for 25 to 15 plus fastest lap plus qualification, and then you can go into the final as well. So there's a whole bunch of points available for Andika Rama and Nakib, and maybe even a Josh Perwin to get into the championship reckoning.
Yeah, I mean, if Josh has a perfect 2 more rounds, you never know what could happen. But he is a little bit far off the top 3. But yeah, I have to say, I mean, for me, okay, we know Alif and Nakib, what their levels are. They've been going at it like this since we've started this whole thing, this whole global edition, during this, obviously, this pandemic. But it's been really nice to see Andika Rama. His level has been really high. He's raised it for this global edition, Europe. He has, in my opinion, been the fastest, slightly fastest of all the drivers in the last 3 rounds. And that's why he was able to catch up after a really disastrous round 1. And just a little bit unlucky in the last final, really.
Certainly was, but it's still Alif Hamilton who's in the lead. He's in this group and he's just got in from national service, so he is out on the circuit. Before we go into too much detail, the guys are still out on the practice track. Now, you mentioned it's the Imola circuit, which is a very different one to the long straights that we've seen in many of the rounds that you've put in so far. And we've got a flying lap, I believe. Singapore's Jason Tay did us a flying lap. Let's have a look around the Imola circuit.
Hello guys, my name is Jason, and today I'll be taking you for a lap around the Imola circuit in my DTM car. So here we are on the main straight. Really easy to overtake someone here if you have DRS. Be reaching speeds of up to 270 km per hour at the end of it if you have DRS. On the brakes at the 100 meter board for turn 2. On the gas for turn 3 and turn 4. Really important to get the braking for turn 2 right. Brush on the brakes at the 50 meter board for this sequence of corners. Try not to run on the gravel on the exit. Brush on the brakes at the 50 meter board. Be gentle on the gas on the exit. Don't want the rear end to come around over there. We climb this small hill. Brush on the brakes at the 50 meter board. Use the curbs on the inside and the outside. Be gentle on the brakes through this sequence of corners. Don't want to be locking up through here. There's only one line through there, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes in the race. On the brakes before the 50 meter board. Climb on the right curb. Climb the left curb. Try not to use too much sausage curbs on the exit, as we have damaged the suspension on the car in the Gold final actually, when the full damage is on. Downhill braking before the 50 meter board. Use all of the track on the exit for the final corner as well, and back onto the main straight. And that is 1 lap of the Imola circuit.
Nice relaxing lap there from Jason Tay, but it doesn't look an easy circuit, Alex. You've driven there multiple times. Where are the main difficulties on the Imola circuit?
Yeah, actually, to be honest, I've only raced there once, only driven there once, and that was in Formula 1, and it didn't go very well, I have to say. It's up and down, and it's very tricky. You just seen the cars going through that middle sector there, just as Jason just took us around that lap. You've got to carry so much speed in there, and it's so narrow and tight, and there's not much runoff. You're always a bit hesitant, but you can carry so much speed through there. So it is a sort of track that rewards drivers who are a little bit brave, but they have to be very precise, because the edges of the track's right there. This left-hander, you carry so much speed through here, and you have to use the grass, the AstroTurf from the exit. But yeah, you have to be very precise. You put a wheel just the wrong side of something, and then that's it. You're off into the gravel and then into the barriers. And this is that double right-hander I was talking about. I forgot the name. I should remember all the names, which is it's a heck of a lot of fun.
We're on board here with Caelan Chin, who's had a pretty impressive, whole 2 seasons in eRacing GP. A little wiggle there just to say hello to everybody. Hello, Caelan. Nice to see you on board. Friday evening, eRacing GP is back. Are you expecting the usual suspects to compete at the top level here? Because it is a very different kind of a circuit. Yeah,
that's a very good point. We should have a look, perhaps at the Spotter's Guide for that. Let me see if I can find that entry list. There we are, Group A. Try have a look at this. So this is the harder group. Group A tends to be the harder group than B, because you always got the championship leader and the guy 3rd place in the championship, which right now is Indika Rama, because at this point we do not take drop points into it. But it's really tough as well, because you got Caelan Chin, Ayman Haziq there as well. The two Filipinos, Luis Moreno and Inigo Anton, who are always very fiery. Mikkel Nasi, unfortunately, actually, or maybe fortunately for the guys who were there in the pink Mercedes there, had to pull out last minute due to an illness. And a couple obviously Indian drivers who are new to Global Edition, but are very, very quick indeed.
Ayman Haziq had a really good weekend last time out. In fact, he finished on the podium in the final. He's currently in the pits now, but are you anticipating that we're going to see the real Ayman Haziq? Because I know that at the very first series that you did, where you had the e-racers together at that big event, Ayman was particularly strong.
Yeah, so the two Aymans, we've talked about them before, Ayman Haziq and Ayman Hakim. Ayman Hakim, I think he's in Group B. The two Malaysian drivers, they've been the standout Malaysian drivers in sim racing for the last few years. I've kind of felt they kind of underperformed a bit so far in the first Global Edition and up to now a bit. You know, we had a couple of strong results from both of them here and there, but not and they were always very quick in the group stages, always very quick on the weekly leaderboard to qualify for the round. They're always there. They're a little bit like some of the Indonesians who have always stunningly quick, but just haven't been able to win a final yet. But I'm really hoping. Ayman Haziq drove really well last weekend. He finished 3rd in the final, and it's a sort of result that sometimes can really help your confidence as a driver, and it can help you step up your performance to the next level. And if Ayman can do that, he can definitely challenge for a podium position again, and who knows, maybe even the final win tomorrow.
How about the Filipino Championship Challenge? Inigo Anton and Luis Moreno. Well, Moreno in the Philippines Challenge was very good. Inigo can be very, very quick. Again, he's not put a consistent sequence of results together.
Yeah, I mean, Moreno's the Filipino master, isn't he? I mean, he's got so much experience, and we saw in the Philippines edition he completely dominated. But we saw Inigo Anton, who's just on screen, who was just showing he could match Moreno. He couldn't do it over the whole weekend. He couldn't quite do it to get the wins that he should have had, but you could see the pace was there. I just couldn't quite maintain the level high enough. What we've seen from Inigo Anton over the last 3 races is that he seems to have found another level as well. He's been quicker than Moreno just a little bit more than half the time, where he wasn't before, you know, so you can see he has had that improvement, but he still needs to find a little bit more if he's going to try and challenge for the podium. But at this stage, you know, he's still very new to sim racing. I think he's only been doing it 2 years. As long as he keeps building and improving, that's the main thing.
Indeed, improvement is something that you've done, and we keep stats and records of all the races all these guys have done, so as seasons progress we'll be able to chart the progress and hopefully see some of the young racers who came in when they were 13, 14 really become very competitive at a semi-pro or even a professional level of e-racing. That's the plan.
That's a great thing. We got a whole bunch of kids who are karting from, I think, ages of 9 to 14, who are really good karters here in the region, who have taken to sim racing during this lockdown. And they're very quick. We'll see him in Silver Edition. One of them, Jevan David's here. He's in gold as well, so he'll be good to watch. There he is, Jevan David. Director knows what he's doing as we watch him on his first lap in qualifying.
Indeed. You are watching the eRacing GP. It is round 5 of 6. Jevan David decides he wants to start again. So do you want to actually talk us around the circuit, Alex, from your bad memories of your time at Imola, but so we can see where the best overtaking opportunities are? Because remember, DRS is in play.
Right, absolutely. That's one thing to think about. So this is the start-finish straight. This is where DRS will be very strong. It's pretty much the best overtaking spot by far. Watch Jevan now coming down for turn 1, or turn 2 really. Tamburello actually. The end of this chicane, these 3 corners. That's Tamburello there. Need a good exit out there. You got to be flat. So picking the braking points and turning points for turn 1 is very important. This is Villeneuve, turns 5 and 6. Maximum speed. You got to carry so much speed and use all the curb in the entrance, which he does very nicely. Tosa, turn 7, very famous hairpin. Seen lots of action. You can actually carry a lot of speed to the hairpin. And actually, I can see a second DRS zone coming up here. It's not that long a straight, but you get a good exit there. You can nab someone into the inside of, it's called Piratella, I think, turn 8. And which comes out of my favorite part of the track, the double right, which I forgot the names of, and I should always remember this is Acqua Minerale, very famous corner. You carry so much speed through there. When you get it right, you feel like you're going through a roller coaster, because you go down, you go right, and then the G-forces build up. So lots of good fun. Now turns 11 and 12. This chicane, again, you have to be very precise. You've got to really crash the curbs there. If you get it just right, you can find a lot of time. You get it wrong, you can lose a second on the way out of there. And then this is another overtaking opportunity. You can try and get him into Rivazza here. Rivazza, this double left-hander. You can really carry a lot of speed. Oh, Jevan's carried too much speed there. He's missed the apex. That will cost him a bit of time. Not too much time. Oh, but then another wiggle on the way out of Rivazza, and that will cost him quite a bit of time. So a scruffy first lap. That'll be his lap in the bank. He'll get another chance to do one more lap. He'll probably restart this lap though. But quick as a 4, Andika Rama.
Indeed, there is Andika Rama posting a time of 2:36.5, which I think you'd expect them to go quicker, but Alif Hamilton, maybe he is looking to try and get, 1:36.5. Alif Hamilton, he's trying to get out on the circuit, and there is time left. This could be a flying lap with the championship leader, Alif Hamilton, and he certainly looks like he's got the right line as he's making his entrance onto the start-finish straight.
Yep, so he has to find 900ths of a second if he wants to take pole position here. Don't forget there is success ballast in this championship, and at the moment I think Nakib carries the most at 15, but Alif Hamilton, he has 12 kilos as well, so that'll be working against him. It's not a huge amount, it's not going to really make too much of a difference, but it will be tough. Oh, he's had to restart his lap. He did not get turn 1 right. Does he have enough time to cross the line? Kalen Chin has just gone quickest. Kalen Chin just did a great lap. He won't have time to do another lap. But let's watch Andika Rama then. He has a chance to snatch back pole. I'm not sure if Alif will have enough time to improve. But Andika, he's gone fastest of all in Sector 1. Half a tenth up on Kalen Chin. Kalen Chin, he's not going to get enough time to improve, but he's out pole position. The Australian does a great job. He's had pole position before. Andika also has had pole this year. He's impressed. He's improved a lot in qualifying. Oh no! Big sideways moment. That's going to cost him a lot of time. Oh, is he coming up to the end of Sector 2 now? Yeah, he's backed right out of it. He's not going to improve. Oh, shame about that. Oh, is he pushing? Actually, he still is pushing. He didn't lose that much time. He only lost 800. Sorry, excuse me. He is still pushing. I thought he had aborted the lap, but maybe he had made so much time at the rest of the corners that he's still able to try and progress. But no, Scruffy again. No, that's it. He's given up. But look at that. Oh, look at that. And Ayman Haziq's got in the front row now. The Malaysian we were just talking about. He's gone fastest of all. But Alif Hamilton, he's still got just enough time. I think he's just able to cross the line in time to start this last lap. But look at that Scruffy first lap. 2 tenths down. Now let's see what he does in Sector 2. Sector 2 is going to have to be pretty special if he's going to want to get across. Still, we have a little bit more time. I know the leaderboard is up right now. Kalen Chin on pole position. Ayman Haziq. We will see if Alif Hamilton has enough time across the line. I don't think he's improved enough through sectors 1 and 2, so I don't think he'll do it. But Des, Kalen Chin, another pole position, and surprise, surprise, Ayman Hazik in P2.
Well, maybe it's not such a surprise for Ayman Hazik because he had such a terrific race in the end of the final in round 4. So the Malaysian is genuinely beginning to pose a bit of a challenge.
Well, okay, so for me, Kalen got pole, but the star was definitely Ayman Hazik. We were quite excited about it because we were just talking about him. You know, the sort of results, sort of performance he put in the last round. It's a sort of performance where you can see a driver just raise their level. It gives them the confidence to go, right, I'm on the right track. I think I know what I'm doing. I've got to do the same what I did just now and do it again. And it gives you that confidence that you're doing the right thing. And that's what we've just seen. Ayman Hazik on his first front row start. And he's done it in the tougher Group A.
Alex Young and Des Corkill in the box for this Group A of the Gold Edition. Red lights are on and we are soon to be underway. Kalen Chin is the man on pole. You can see him. It's the unusual right-hand corner right at the very start. Ayman Hazik in the dark to his left-hand side, and Kalen Chin has smoothly got away. Andy Karama, good news for the Indonesian. He's got away smoothly as well and is actually trying to get into P2. Under pressure from Dylan Tan. Dylan Tan has pushed Andy Karama off the circuit.
Wow, bad mistake by Dylan Tan. Disaster mistake, really bad. He's going to incur big penalties for that. He's took out 2 cars. Real shame. Again, I got to feel for Andy Karama. Again, he's just not having the luck. He's had reliability issues and now he's been taken out by Dylan Tan through no fault of his own. Wow, such a shame.
Dylan Tan, he is a spectacular racer, the young Singaporean. He's a bit younger than that photo that he's provided on the left. At least I hope he is. But nonetheless, that could be huge in the overall championship. Yevon David, who was so quick during the week, Alex, he's out of the first race.
Wow, I don't know what happened there. But yes, he's still in the garage. I hope he hasn't been disconnected. So he has a chance to join us for the second race. But back at the front, Ayman Hazik's leading the way. He would have been very thankful for Dylan because he would look like he was going to drop down to 3rd or 4th position even. But that mistake by Dylan just allowed him to inherit the lead. But look who's all over the back of him. It's Alif Hamilton in the yellow BMW.
Do you expect anything else than Alif Hamilton to be in a position to challenge? Dylan Tan is still in 3rd place. He's not being penalised by the official race, but I'm sure the race control will have a look at Dylan's actions. Inigo Anton has got himself into P4. Dan Anindro and Luis Moreno 5 and 6. Luis Moreno begins to make a move. The DRS is in play, but Danindro defends quite nicely around this first chicane. Alif Hamilton, though, Alex, has gone into the lead.
Wow, he obviously used the DRS to good effect into turn 1. He's now defending into the chicane. Let's not forget, guys, we have got the DRS. Maybe these two can work together to try and put out a gap to the rest of the others.
So Alif Hamilton has the lead. Dylan Tan, the North, is in currently P3 ahead of Inigo Anton. Let's have a look at Andy Karama. He is beginning to make up some ground. He's got himself back up into P11. But he was in 2nd place, Alex, when he was the victim, the casualty of that collision with Dylan Tan.
Yeah, like I said, I really feel for him. Through no fault of his own, looked like he was going to take the lead. He was looking good at that point, but it went into Dylan went into him, and then he went into Kalen Chin. So Kalen Chin was the other innocent party. He's down in 7th position. But both these drivers, Chin and Rama have the pace to get back up into the top 3 or 4.
Yeah, I was actually looking at this, and as we're on board with Kalen Chin, the gap between Alif Hamilton and these guys is only about 4 seconds. I mean, Alif is probably too far away, but you can get yourself on some good points onto the podium if you're just consistent. And Kalen Chin is chasing on the back there of Rama Danindro, and Kalen might fancy a little move on the outside, and Kalen indeed just goes on the outside but can't get into P6.
Yeah, you got to be very careful this turn 1. It's turn 2 on the map, but I consider it turn 1. You can really get your braking wrong there, and you'll be into the other cars, so you have to be a bit careful and not be too aggressive there. This corner, you can tend to be a bit more aggressive, as Kalen just has a nudge. He wasn't able to get in the power quite strongly, so he can't look down the inside into Tosa, but maybe on the way out of Tosa, and he looks like he's got a good line, he can put the DRS now, especially if the car in front of him doesn't use it. But yeah, he doesn't use it. So he's creeping down the inside, and there he goes down the inside of the Nindro. And he's now up to 6th position.
Lewis Mourinho is the man in P5. Up at the front, Alif Hamilton has grabbed the 2nd lead over Ayman Hazik. And anybody hoping that Alif Hamilton had really struggle on this Friday, this first race, well, Alif's given his usual answer, which is, I know how to race at eRacing level.
Yeah, so this is what Ayman needs to find his extra level. We know he can be quick, but he needs to be quick not just for one lap. He needs to be quick in all aspects of the race. The beginning, the end, the middle, every corner. And you see, Alif went through, and now Ayman obviously has made a couple small mistakes when he really shouldn't have. And the gap's gone out to Alif. Thankfully for Ayman, he's still just within DRS range. That should allow him to just creep back up to the back of Ayman, to Alif. Because if Ayman Hazik wants to win his first race here in the Global Edition, he's got to beat this man.
And there he goes on the inside, uses the DRS very nicely as they go into the chicane. That's nicely done by the Malaysian over the Singaporean. Down in P3, Inigo Anton has got himself ahead of Dylan Tan, so there'll be a big cheer in Manila and the rest of the Philippines as Inigo Anton in 3 and Lewis Moreno in 5, giving the Pinoys a really good appearance so far in race number 1 at Imola.
Yeah, so Inigo Anton obviously overtook Dylan Tan off the screen, but it's a good opportunity here. Oh, someone spins behind. Who was that?
It is Kalen Chin. Going backwards, it means Andy Karama, would you believe, can come up, but Kalen has made a mistake. Expletive deleted bottom left of your corner. You fully understand though why Kalen reacted like he did. But what it means, Alex, is that Andy Karama has sneaked through into P6 with India's Sohail Shah up ahead of him.
I mean, we sometimes forget how young Kalen is, isn't he? I mean, he's only 13 years old. Oh, very uncharacteristic mistake because he drives like someone much older. But I feel for him. But he made this mistake by himself. He'll be kicking himself. But still a long way to go. 13 minutes left. He can still make up a lot more spaces. Here we are watching Andika Rama, the victim in that first corner accident. And he's making his positions up. He's up to 8th position now. He's looking in good place. You know, look at him go attacking the chicanes there. The video on the right is the onboard, and there's a good, it's that 10-second delay. So we kind of use it as a replay as we go along. But look, he's focused. He's not let that first corner upset him. And he's a real class act of a driver. I'm sure he'll find his way through.
Slight apologies, we're getting a little bit of lagging on some of the video. It does tend to clear up on a Friday night. The internet connectivity is perceived to be good, but a bit of lagging on the stream. It's good just as we speak now. But Andika Rama is trying to make hay no matter lag or not, and Andika Rama has got himself up into a decent position on the tail end there of Sohail Shah.
Yeah, he has. Another position that he'll be looking at. Sohail Shah just joined us 2 races ago. I believe he's teammates with Arjun Maini. So it's really great to see them joining us. A few other Indian drivers have joined us. And it's really good to see them. They're obviously very strong. I believe Shah's new to Race Room, although he's got quite experience on different platforms. But yeah, bad exit out of Minerali, and that's allowed Andika Rama to get down the inside, in the end making it very easy for the Indonesians.
So Andika Rama has got himself up from P15 as he was after the 3rd corner. He's got himself now back up to P7. A couple of casualties. Yevon David did never get started. Arif Azmi is another casualty. Wei Seong is the final one of the races that we've got. At the front though, Ayman Hazik, we've rather forgotten about this because there's plenty going on behind, but Ayman Hazik has got himself a half-second lead over Alif Hamilton. Inigo Anton currently in P3.
Okay, so it's good, it's a battle between these two, but look at that. Anton is actually closing the gap to these top 2, and he's dragging Dylan Tan with him. But yes, Ayman Hazik, good job staying out in front, but you just feel that Alif is just biding his time. But if Ayman looks like he's settled down now, lap 2 and 3, I was very worried that he might start making mistake upon mistake and then dropping back, but he looks to be settled now. I mean, Alif is right there, of course, but it's the DRS which is allowing him. You can see the rear wings tilting back now on Alif's yellow BMW. That sheds downforce, that sheds drag. And if you're behind someone within a second of the guy in front, you can use it 3 times a lap. to great effect.
Shout out to Haris Shami, a regular viewer and of course a racer later on this weekend. Everybody though has got to get up to the standards of the Gold Star defending champion Alif Hamilton, who's in the yellow BMW here, chasing the Mercedes of Ayman Hazik. Singapore on the tail of Hazik, who's Malaysian, but Hazik looks like he is driving in the manner that you know that he can, Alex. He's looking very controlled.
Yeah, I mean, we know he's quick. And he's very experienced. He's won many races in esports, but he is very good on the raceroom platform. He's got a lot of experience here, but he just hasn't been able to translate it into results at this level yet. And I think today, this has definitely been his best chance so far. This could be his first win in the Global Edition. Alif Hamilton goes to the outside. Ayman does the right thing to try and defend the inside, but the DRS is just too strong, and Alif takes the lead.
Back in P3, Dylan Tan, who I'm sure will suffer one or two penalty moments after his behaviour on the first couple of corners. He's in P3, but Inigo Anton is trying to close on him. Fair play to Dylan. He is a competitive racer, sometimes a little bit close to the line, but he lost a little bit of time there, and Inigo Anton sweeps past him. Anton into P3.
Yeah, Dylan just made a mistake there on the outside. I think Inigo must have made a mistake the lap before, because he was up into P3, dropped down to P4. Now he's back to P3 in the grey Mercedes. But look at Dylan looking to the inside there. Now you can't really dive down the inside of that corner. It's too fast. Dylan backs out of it, which is the correct thing to do. But now these two cars have the work cut out again, because they need to close down the gap to the top two again.
It is. It's 1.5 seconds between Ayman Hazik and Inigo Anton as we speak. That is too far. Alif Hamilton has pulled 3/4 of a second clear on Ayman Hazik. Will he be able to get a second clear and avoid the DRS? That's the real key. Top left of your screen, Hazik nearly 0.9 of a second down. Alif Hamilton is making a real play to get this lead extended, Alex Young.
Yeah, so Alif did it perfectly. He got Ayman at the very beginning of this lap, so then he had two more chances of using DRS on that lap. And look at that, he's pulled out over a second. Really, really clever use of the DRS. And now Ayman Hazik has it all to do. He's out of the DRS zone. And if he wants to get back at Alif, he has to close down that gap. Look at that, 1.6 seconds down. Alif, he's broken the slipstream. He's broken the tail like Peloton racing on bicycles. He's got the gap now. He's got to push hard and see if he can open up the gap to the end of the race.
The problem for Ayman Hazik is that he is now in a battle for P2, and he'll be looking backwards at Anton. Another error from the erratic Dylan Tan. That means it's a two-way battle for P2. Luis Moreno goes into P4. Andy Karama elevates himself up. And poor old Dylan Tan is out of the race, Alex Young.
I wonder if he had too many incident points from all the clashes. Maybe is he still going? No, I don't think he's going anymore.
There he is.
Yeah, too many incident points. I think he had too much, hit too many cars, to be honest. And then that last tap of the barrier was just enough to send him out. Ayman Hazik there. Oh, he's lone. He's trying to bring down that gap. It's 1.3. He has brought down that gap again. He's had a good second sector here. And more importantly, he's keeping the gap to Anton. So Anton's not within DRS range.
There is Inigo Anton currently in P3. Luis Moreno is in P4. He's driving a very lonely race, but we're very aware that Andika Rama is closing in on him. We've got 7 minutes still to race, so there's still time for Andika Rama to get himself up onto the shoulder of Luis Moreno.
Yeah. So I think Andika gets up to 4th would be good, but you know, he would have been my favorite for the win in this race. So 4th is not bad, but he would have wanted the win. Back at the front though, Ayman Hazik 1.3 seconds, still not quite within DRS range, and now he's got Anton to contend with, because Anton will be using the DRS, and if Ayman starts battling with Anton, then that's it. Alif will definitely throw out that gap, and he won't be caught. The only chance for Ayman to try and win this race now is on this lap. He needs to have a perfect lap, and he needs to close that gap back in DRS range. If he can get within DRS range, then he can bring the fight to the Singaporean in the yellow BMW. If he can't, then he's going to have to contend with Anton in the next lap, and they're going to start scrapping for second.
To be fair, he is actually beginning to make a little bit of headway, but you always think that Alif has just got that little bit extra in hand as he slingshots around this lovely double right-hander, then up the hill. It's a beautiful circuit, Imola.
Yeah. I think, well, Ayman's got half the lap perfect. That half lap we were just talking about was really good, looked nice and smooth, and he has closed that gap. He is within DRS range. Oh, he has a small wiggle there. That will cost him a bit of time. Not too much, I hope, because I think he was really late on the brake. No, he didn't cost him that much time at all. He's within DRS range now. 2 more corners to go. If he can just close it down a bit more, he will have DRS, and he will be back in the hunt for the lead.
If he manages to do so, that'll be really impressive from Ayman Hazik. I know you've talked him up an awful lot. Let's get onto the shoulder of him. He's within 0.7 of a second as they go over the start-finish line. Terrific job by Ayman Hazik. That really is an excellent lap, and his recovery is there. But Inigo Anton has also joined in the fun, Alex Young.
Yeah, okay, so now we have to be smart here. Anton's just at the right position, to be honest. But Ayman has to be smart. Don't overtake him now. This would be the wrong idea to overtake, because if he overtakes now, Alif can come straight back, or even Inigo Anton can come straight at him the next lap. What Ayman has to do is be clever and try and overtake him at the start of the next lap, not this lap, because then you have DRS to try to break away and have a gap that you can hold on to the end. Whereas if he overtakes Alif halfway through this lap, Alif will be straight back at him at the next lap. So this is where the strategy comes into play. This is where this high-speed chess game is all about.
DRS can be used 3 times in a lap if you're close enough at the start of it. You suspect this might just be a train until we go on to the final lap, Alex. Certainly Inigo Anton has done really well to get himself nice and close. These 3 are pulling even further away from Luis Moreno. The bad news, Moreno, is that in his wing mirror he can see Andy Karama slowly but surely closing in.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We were just talking about, though, back at the front 3, though, the chess. I think Ayman knows what he's doing. He wasn't using DRS zone in the middle of the track, which means he wasn't trying to overtake Alif. So that was right. Now he has 1 more DRS to use for this lap. He'll use it now, and then he'll start the next lap with DRS again. So this is perfect for him. He's going to overtake, and he'll have this DRS, and he'll be able to use it for 3 times on this next lap. That should be enough to pull out the gap, and it might be just right for him, because Anton here, he's going to be all over the back of Alif, and maybe Alif will get overtaken by the Filipino.
Or maybe Alif will just actually be able to stay close to Ayman Hazik. We know he's a good enough racer to do exactly that. Let's see what the gap is. There is the front of Ayman Hazik. Alif Hamilton has managed to stay with him, but as you say, the DRS can be utilised on a couple more of occasions by Ayman Hazik. And Inigo Anton, he is chasing his first victory as well at this gold level of eRacing GP. Is he close enough to be competitive? Under 3 minutes to go. So what? We'll have this lap and 2 more, Alex Young.
Yeah, so maybe Ayman has gone too early at this point. Maybe he should have done it a lap later, because look at that, Alif's driving really well to keep that gap there. Ayman has not used his second DRS yet, so he's got 2 more DRSs to use on this lap. Be interesting to see where he's using it. Inigo Anton was just using his DRS to keep close. Okay, for Ayman to hold on to the end, I really feel he'll need Inigo Anton to have a perfect next couple corners, because then he'll be all over the back of Alif. There he goes. Ayman Hazik used the DRS into the double left-hander here. That was the right place to use it. He's going to use it now on the way out. Okay, so this is where the gap is getting pulled. Very clever usage. He saved the DRS for the end of the lap. And look at that. He's over a second on Alif Hamilton. Alif will not have DRS. And that's allowed Inigo Anton to go through. It has played out perfectly. Half a lap ago, I was thinking maybe it hasn't played out perfectly for Ayman. But now it's switched around again. And look at that. He's got the gap to second place. Inigo Anton for Philippines. And championship leader from Singapore, Alif Hamilton, is all over the back of Anton now.
Wow, really well done by Ayman Hazik, but there will be 2 complete laps still to go. Hamilton pressurizing Inigo Anton. Now, had Anton overtaken before the start-finish line? I think he had, you know, so it means that Alif may well have the DRSs available to him.
Well, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a very good point. I didn't actually see if he did or not. If he didn't, then he should be sitting pretty to hold on to this position. But if he did, then Alif's going to come back at him very, very quickly indeed.
But Ayman Hazik has managed to pull a 1.3 second lead out of the front. The improvement that he showed in the final of round 4 has carried on into race number 1 of round 5. And Alif is indeed being dropped. Maybe he didn't have the DRS. Inigo Anton timed his perfectly. And do not write Inigo Anton off here, Alex Young, because there will be another lap after this one. Although he just can't get close enough to Ayman Hazik. Ayman looks like he's done this one absolutely superbly. Anton uses the DRS, but he's a little bit too far behind.
Yeah, he's too far behind. He doesn't have the DRS. This is the DRS for this lap. He won't have any DRS for the rest of the lap. But I tell you who does. Alif is just behind him. He's also out of DRS zone. I think Alif has made a mistake. He has made a mistake, so he's dropped back from a winning position, and he's now in 3rd position.
He is human. He is human after all, and that is a bonus for Andika Rama, because Andika won't be able to get better than P5. Luis Moreno has driven a very consistent race in P4, but Andika Rama will have to be content with P5. Further down, Sohail Shah is right at the very tail. But now, let's look at Ayman Hazik, because the time has elapsed, but they must complete this lap. Can Inigo Anton get close enough to make a challenge on the latter stages, Alex Young? I think that is the one real remaining question.
Yeah, that is the remaining question. I don't think he has got DRS. He just hasn't been close enough. Wow, look at them. It's so great to see some new faces at the front. But I think Ayman Hazik has got it. I think he's got the win at this point. I'm going to stick my neck out. He's got a second. Ayman Hazik may be on his way to his first win in the Global Edition.
Ayman Hazik, a podium in the final last time out in round 4 here at Imola in round 5. He looked like he'd gone early. Both Alex and I thought it may be gone a lap early. In the end, he has judged it to absolute perfection. It's not exactly a lap of honour, but it's a lap that he's always been a second clear of Inigo Anton. Never been able to draw closer Inigo Anton, and the victory belongs to Ayman Hazik ahead of Inigo Anton. Alif Hamilton 3rd, Luis Moreno 4th, Andika Rama 5, Kalen Chin limps home in 6th ahead of Ramadanindro, Bani Ismiaso, Choi Ayman. Wei Seong in P10, Sohail Shah in P11 will be the last of the 11 finishers. But welcome to the top table, Ayman Hazik.
Wow, really, really good job. I'm so pleased for him. Really good job indeed for the Malaysian. He's based in Japan. He's had so much success over the years, especially on Race Room. But this global edition, the standard is a lot higher than we've seen in this region. Really have the best sim races from all around the Asia-Pacific region, and some of the best real-life races from the world have also participated here. And now Ayman Hazik takes his first win.
Congratulations going to Ayman Hazik from fellow Malaysian Haris Shami. Get in there, Ayman, is the very neutral comment, we think not. And Jamil Lacuna, congratulations to Inigo Anton and to Luis Moreno. As you say, Alex Young, new names at the top of the leaderboard, or new names at the gold level top of the leaderboard anyway, but they're no surprise to us because we know of their quality.
Yeah, I wanted to actually just have a little clap there because it was really nice. Very good performance there. Ayman Hazik had it all to do. Alif was all over him. Like you said, I thought he'd gone too early, but he'd used the DRS. He hadn't panicked, and he'd actually done all the right moves at the right time. That was a little bit worried on lap 2, lap 3, whether he would start making more mistakes because he didn't look so clean at that part of the race. But he totally settled down and rewarded with his first win.
Welcome along to eRacing GP. We're at Imola. Fabulous little circuit. Reverse grid race now with a slightly smaller field than normal. There's a good chance for those who start at the back, Ayman Hazik, to make their way to the front, Alex Young. This could be a very, very tasty Friday for Ayman Hazik. Red lights are waiting to go. When they go off, we'll be underway on this 20-minute race. Yevon David, delighted to say, has got himself on the start-finish line. But a disastrous start for Ayman Hazik and also for Andika Rama. Andika involved in real problems. He is almost off the circuit with Bani Ismiaso. Dylan Tan, no responsibility for him, but my word, Yevon David was just left on his own up the front.
Wow, championship rival Andika, just what happened there? Oh no, again! My heart goes out to him. There was nothing he could have done about that. That was not his fault. Someone spun into him and took him out. Andika's championship, is it gone now?
He's out of the race. He's out of the race, Andika.
Wow.
Oh my
no.
word. That means Alif Hamilton is looking pretty good. Andika, the black screen of him, we saw him looking disconsolately there. Banias Miaso taking him out. Ayman Hazik, meantime, winner of race number 1, has got himself up into P8 on the tail of Alif Hamilton. Yevon David, though, on pole position. What a dreadful start. He was left standing on the grid, Alex Young.
Yeah, Yevon obviously sleeping at the start, but I'm still just taken aback by Andika Rama. Andika Rama, you know, he came into this race only behind the championship leader by 2 points when you take it reverse drop scores, and that's it. He's out of it now, and I'm shocked because there's nothing you can do. Sometimes you have that though in motor racing. Sometimes you just have a really bad run of bad luck where no matter what you do, nothing goes right, and that's what's happened to Andika. Twice now he's been taken out through absolutely no fault of his own.
Maybe, just maybe, because it's a shorter grid than normal, he might squeeze into the final. If he does, he can rescue something from this weekend. If he doesn't, it'll be catastrophic for him. In the meantime, new boys, Sohail Shah in P2, Dylan Tan from Singapore in P1.
Yes, it is. Good to see the new boys again. Like I said, Dylan Tan, who was the naughty boy in race 1, had a really good start, whereas I think he's actually good mates with Yevon David. They are good mates in Singapore, based in Singapore. They race against each other a lot. Yevon, though, unfortunately, with a disastrous start. But Dylan Tan now leading his first race in the Gold Edition. But he's still got to contend with Sohail Shah, who's doing a great job of hanging on to the back of him.
Nizar Ritsky has just come on. What have I missed, he said. You missed a whole lot of action. And poor old Andika Rama is the main casualty. You've seen Dylan Tan be a naughty boy leading here, race number 2. You saw Alif Hamilton beaten into 3rd place by Ayman Hazik in race number 1. You've missed plenty so far, and it's only Group A.
So sometimes coming to tracks like this does throw up some surprises, though. I have to say, this is a completely different track to the track we're used to. It could just be coincidence, but these old school tracks do tend to throw out these surprises. Sometimes you do have to drive this track, or maybe you have to approach this track slightly different than you would in other tracks. It's not a street track, it's not that severe a difference, but there are subtleties with how you approach this track.
Okay, Yevon David is making up for his poor start. He's got himself up into P4. Kalen Chin is making an aggressive move into P5, dragging Alif Hamilton with him. So Alif is there. We're on board with Kalen Chin. Let's see Kalen's view. He's got Alif right alongside him in the live screen. A little bit on the right-hand side is a short delay, so we can see what Kalen Chin is doing. He had a spin in race number 1, and Kalen at the moment in P5.
There he is. Right, he's on the back of Yevon David. You see this train of cars. They're going to catch up with the leaders very soon, and I think we're going to have a good 7-8 car battle for the lead. We are riding right now with Alif Hamilton. He is the championship leader. Compared to his usual high standards, he did not have a great race 1. Only finished P3 when he was in a perfect position to win. But now he's down in 6th position. He'll be looking to try and score some points because his championship rival, Andika Rama, is out of the race.
Okay, let's go back up to the front. Luis Moreno has gone right onto the tail of Dylan Tan and Sohail Shah. Luis Moreno tries to look on the inside. He pulls out just before the chicane. Dylan Tan lost P1 to Sohail Shah. So Indian racer Arjun Maini we've had doing well in the first season of the Global Edition. Sohail Shah beginning to make a bit of a name for himself here, Alex Young.
Yeah, well, he's Arjun Maini's teammate. They've done racing before. Oh, but Sohail is new to race room. He's making a few mistakes there. He's going to have to be a lot calmer. He's going to have to be a lot more error-free if he wants to win this race, because there's some very fast cars behind him who won't be making those kind of mistakes.
Dylan Tan is 0.6 of a second down. Kalen Chin, who many are saying was responsible for that first lap casualty for Andika Rama. He's got himself up into P4 at the moment. Both he and Alif have got past Yevon David down in 6. Ayman Hazik He's making up nice ground with nearly 3/4 of the race still to go, Alex. This could still be a really good weekend for Eamon Haziq.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a great race one. He's qualified for the final for sure. Let's see what he can find now. He's a little bit off the back of this group, but it's all going to come together again because they're going to start scrapping, and he'll be in for the fight for the lead.
Sohail Shah has dropped down from P1 down to P6. Clearly, something went wrong for Sohail just as I was bigging him up. Sorry, young fella. It means that Dylan Tan can try to establish a good lead at the front. He's a second clear of Luis Moreno. Moreno's got Chin, Alif and Yevon David on his tail.
A small wiggle out of Aqua Minerale would have cost him time, but with just exactly what Moreno needed because he was just starting to lose a bit of contact. And now he's still within DRS. 2 more corners to go. Realistically, 2 more corners to go. This is right-handed, which I don't consider a corner. Now these 2 left-handers barrel down, break it about 60 meters, carry all that speed, use the green turf on the exit, use it on the exit of this as well. Dylan, though, he's got a good exit. He's using DRS, the last DRS of the lap. But these drivers now, Kalen Chin, he's going to come up into second position. They all have DRS behind him as well as they come and start another lap.
But Dylan Tan has got over a second clear of Moreno, you know. I think he may well have taken a real big moment there, Dylan Tan. Moreno currently holding on to P2, racing with Kalen Chin and Alif Hamilton. But Dylan Tan looked like he practiced that one magnificently at the end of the lap 4.
Right, I tell you what, Moreno, though, he's getting very feisty. He's deciding to defend. I think that was the mistake. I think he should have let Kalen go by. Because when he defends like that, he ends up costing him time. It's good for Dylan Tan, though, because it gives them a gap, because Moreno just ends up slowing everyone else down. But if I was Moreno, I'd have let Kalen Chin go by and then just had the DRS for the next lap. As it is now, the drivers, as those cars, they're going to get by him anyway, but now they're out of touch with the leader.
Kalen Chin has eventually taken that second spot, but he's 2.5 seconds down on Dylan Tan. Dylan Tan looks like he really has made a great use of that advantage, the scrapping going on behind him. Alif Hamilton is the latest to find Luis Moreno as an obstacle that he must overcome. All the while, Alex, Dylan's lead is up to 2 seconds. Yep. The bad news for him is there's 12 minutes still to race.
Yeah, if this was 5 minutes to go, I would have said that Dylan might be on his way to his first win. But Kalen Chin, he had pole position in race 1. He was taken out by Dylan Tan in race 1. So now Kalen Chin, we know he has the pace to close down those 2 seconds.
A little bit further down, let's have a look at Sohail Shah. He went right the way back. He must have had a big moment. He's 2.5 seconds down. He's only got Wei Xiong behind him. Inigo Anton currently in P7, not making much of a move, but Eamon Haziq has just taken a place there from Luis Moreno, who's gone backwards. Moreno.
Yeah, he's gone backwards now. So he will have DRS this lap, but Eamon Haziq also has DRS. Oh, Moreno makes a mistake there, misses the apex, runs a bit wide. That's going to cost him some time. So he'll have to slow down. He'll have to calm down. If he wants to get back up to the front again.
Dylan Chan it is who leads from Kalen Chin, Alif Hamilton, Yevon David, Eamon Haziq, Luis Moreno, Inigo Anton, all in a line behind them. They're all within striking distance, but Dylan Tan, Alex Young, we don't often see him drive disciplined. That's exactly what he's doing just at the moment.
Yeah, well, he'll have to be perfect. I mean, he's just lost another half second in this lap alone. And he'll really have to be perfect if he wants to try and keep that lead. Because, Kalen and Alif, they're very cool customers. I think they'll start working together, using the DRS off each other to try and close down the gap to the leader.
Let's get on board Alif Hamilton, who's closing it up onto the tail of Kalen Chin. Looking around Imola, approaching the halfway mark, and tactics will come into play. Kalen, I know you say he's closing on Dylan Tan, but Dylan is frequently just extending that lead. Here, once again, he's out of DRS range, Alex Young, so he is clearly doing something well. No valid last lap, but he's lapping around about the 137 mark.
Yeah, but now look at Alif Hamilton. He's got DRS for the rest of this lap, and he'll be able to use that to get within DRS of Dylan. So let's not forget, with the DRS being so strong in this type of racing, if you're new to this type of racing, it's a bit like watching cycling where people run in pelotons. So when you're in a peloton sort of racing, you have to be very wary if you're going to be the driver out in front, because the pack can use the DRS and overtake each other to try and close down those gaps as long as they don't start fighting. And that's what Kaylin and Alif are doing. They're racing hard against each other, but they're not going to slow themselves down, because their aim is to try and win this race. And to do that, they have to close the gap.
Ayman Hazik also doing that as well. He's on the tail end of Yevon David. Bad news for Philippines. Luis Moreno has dropped down to P6. Inigo Anton is the closest to him in P7. Alif Hamilton has, as you suggested, Alex, pulled the gap a bit closer, but it's still 1.4 seconds as they come through the chicane. Dylan Tan is doing a terrific job in the lead, but can he hold on? Can he keep this gap over a second?
Yeah, no chance. Alif Hamilton's using the DRS as they come into the left-hander here. The wing snaps back into the right position, and Alif's got one more chance to use the DRS, and he's going to use it now. Watch that rear wing. Yep, it bends backwards, losing all that drag, and he's able to inch closer, and now he's within a second, within 8 tenths, within 7 tenths, and he'll definitely have the DRS for this lap as well. So Dylan, he's not going to hold on to that lead for another lap, I feel.
One Singaporean slowly but surely eating up the ground on another. Kaylin Chin, the young Aussie, is currently in P3. Ayman Hazik is in a scrap with Yevon David for P4. Let's just focus on that. That's a great little battle. Moreno has decided to rejoin the fun. Remember at one stage Moreno was looking to get into P2. Here he's battling for P4.
Yeah, he's getting back into this fight now. Ayman, who's just ahead of him in the grey car, he'll want to try and get in that fight for the lead as well, but he's taking himself too long to get through the traffic. But Moreno, look, he's using the DRS now. It's blinking. The DRS is blinking on the bottom left as he tries to have a look down the inside of Yevon David.
Sorry, I pulled out of that because Dylan Tan is now under pressure from Alif Hamilton. As you suggested, Alif has been able to close right onto the tail with 7.5 minutes still to go. He just took the lead too early, Dylan Tan.
Yeah.
That was his problem.
So Alif will be smart here. He'll have 2 more DRSs. He'll use it out of this corner, but he still won't try and overtake because he wants to use it down the start-finish straight, so he has another DRS to try and have that gap. His challenge for me is not going to be Dylan Tan at this point. It's going to be Kaylin Chin, who's right behind him in the white Mercedes. So see, Alif is just waiting there. Kaylin is waiting there as well. Okay, so now Alif doesn't want to be too close here, because if he gets it too close, he'll overtake Dylan before the start-finish line. He doesn't want to do that, so now he puts a DRS. He doesn't want to do it too early because he'll overtake before the start-finish line. They cross the start-finish line now, and this is when Alif takes the lead. He'll take the lead now, and he now has 3 DRSs for the rest of this lap. So does Kaylin. Kaylin has to follow him through, and he does. So now Kaylin is through to second position. They're both past Dylan Tan in the blue Mercedes. This is where the battle's going to be. It's going to be between the white Mercedes in front and the yellow Mercedes in front there. And that's going to be cat and mouse for the next 6 minutes.
The challenge for Dylan Tan is to somehow try to stay close and also to hold off an emerging challenge from Ayman Hazik, who's got himself into P4. Moreno and Yevon David are battling for P5. Further down, Ramadan Indro, Sohail Shell, Inigo Anton has dropped out of the reckoning. He's down in P9, and it's another struggle for Wei Xiong, who's 12 seconds off the pace. Let's go back to that battle for P4 though, Alex, where Ayman Hazik, is he going to be able to get close enough to Dylan Tan to get himself a second podium for the week?
Well, if he is, he's going to have to do it all by himself because he's got no one to help him. He's by himself. And don't forget that Dylan Tan he's close enough to get DRS in the next lap. So, yeah, he's got it all to do. But here we are back in the battle for the front. Kaylin Chin and Alif Hamilton using the DRS down here into this corner here, Rivatsa, I think it's called. They'll use it again for this one more straight. And then after they go across the start-finish line, Alif Hamilton, he won't have it. But this man, Kaylin Chin, he will.
Kaylin Chin currently in P2. He is the man closest to Alif Hamilton. The differential is just 0.6 of a second, which is good for Kaylin Chin. Now it's a case of when do you make your move, and Kalen doesn't maybe have the experience of the other racers purely because of age, but he's had plenty of time out on the track. But we saw Ayman Hazik last race, in race number 1, Alex, utilise the DRS and time his challenge to absolute perfection. Has Kalen got that experience to be able to do the same to Alif Hamilton?
Well, Kalen is a race winner. He has won races with us before, but now he's up against championship leader Alif Hamilton. And can he do that? He's going to have to take a page out of Ayman Hazik, and he's going to have to time it just right. Wow, look at those skies. The skies look really dark, like rain is on the way. But Kalen is going to have to do it, I think, on the penultimate lap. And he needs to do it not just on the penultimate lap, he needs to do it on the start-finish straight, because he needs to do it at the beginning of the last lap.
I'd love it if Race Room had a rain facility. Sadly, it doesn't. Instead, we've just got the lengthening shadows. But Alif Hamilton and Kalen Chin, 1 and 2. Dylan Tan has not been able to keep close. He'll be a second and a half down under where the Hazik is on his tail. Kalen Chin look to make a move. He's using the DRS. Is he going a little bit early, Alex Young?
Yeah, he is. He's going too early and he's too close. Because if he's got to be very careful here. Oh, I wouldn't use the DRS just yet, mate. I'd wait a while. Because look at this. He's going to cross the line in front of Lewis. If I was Alif, I'd back off even. Let him cross the line. He did. Alif backed off. He backed off just for the line. So Kalen will not have DRS, but Alif Hamilton does. So Kalen just is using his last DRS from the lap before, but he won't have it. Look at him. He's smiling in the picture. He knows what Alif's done. So Alif will have DRS for this lap, and he'll be able to overtake him at the start of the next lap.
Was Dylan Tam within space? No, Dylan Tam was too far down, so he doesn't have DRS. So Dylan needs to worry about Ayman Hazik and Yevon David. Moreno is still in P6, but he's challenging on Yevon David. Right, it's fascinating, this battle at the front. Kalen Chim, maybe. What have we got laps-wise? We've got another 2 laps after this one, Alex Young.
Another 2 more laps. Well, that might play back into Kalen Chin.
Absolutely. He may well have double bluffed Alif Hamilton.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see what happens.
How did we get poker onto a game of chess into an e-racing game?
Well, it's great to see. I do like it. I wouldn't like to see it every race, 100% of the races, but it is good because it's great entertainment, and also it's a factor of racing that we don't see in cars anymore. This slipstreaming that you can do, where you have to think about using that to great effect, because we haven't seen that in cars because of the modern aerodynamic era. That's kind of disappeared. Okay, so look, now this is where Kalen, see, Alif's been smart here, deciding, nah, I don't want to overtake. He's using his DRS because he wants to be nice and close, but he wants to get it on the penultimate lap. So he's just going to try and use the DRS to be very, very close to Kalen, and then just take it on the last lap. Kalen, he's a sitting duck at this moment. What does he do at this point? Does he try and bolt? Does he try and be the hare and try and pull the gap, knowing that Alif Hamilton has all these DRSs in hand? Or does he try and be clever and slow down and allow Alif through on this lap before the start of the next lap?
Well, that's the view on his wing mirror. Alif Hamilton, I'm here, fella. Don't worry, I know how to pass you. I've been there, seen it, done it. Kalen Chin may well have just made the error of going a little bit early. There will be another full lap after this. Dylan Tan, meantime, in P3, just breaking away temporarily. Ayman Hazik has managed to close onto Dylan Tan, Alex Young, and Ayman is looking for back-to-back podiums on this Friday qualification Group A.
Yes, he is. Looks like he's going to be close enough to do it by the end of this lap. Definitely will be. Yeah, very, very close indeed. Just look at the front two, though. These guys in 3rd and 4th are closing the gap to the front two because they're going so slow right now. Kalen Chin, I don't think he knows what to do at this point, but they're backing off. Look at Alif's not even using the DRS at this point. He knows he's close enough. He doesn't want to be too close. Oh, Kalen has a moment into the penultimate corner. Is he going to go? He's just going to go, isn't he? But, oh, it's such a difficult decision. Now Alif uses his DRS. He's just the right distance. He shouldn't catch him before the line. But what does Kalen do? Is Kalen going to let him by? No, he's going to hold it. Oh, that's it. Alif has got the win for sure.
Alif Hamilton, almost in reverse there was Kalen Chin. But Alif Hamilton waited and waited and waited. took the lead for the very first time in the race at the start of the final lap. There are just 6 seconds of time to elapse. Ayman Hazik, meantime, has got ahead of Dylan Tan into P3. Dylan Tan will be in P4, leading for so long. But Alif Hamilton will take a big number of points here. He'll take 15 points. He's also got the best lap of 1:36.2. So this could be a big weekend for Alif Hamilton. Another big weekend. Andika Rama might, though, Alex, still just make it into the final, because it looks like we're only going to have 10 finishers here.
Yeah, I think Andika will make it to the final, but he would have lost so many points today. It's going to be very hard for him to fight for the championship, I feel, at this point. Unless, of course, Alif has a disaster tomorrow. And, of course, let's not forget there's a third driver in that hunt, which is Nakib. So Nakib will need to have a disaster today and tomorrow for Rama to really stand a chance into the last round next weekend.
Kalen Chin tried to slow down, tried to double bluff, triple bluff, quadruple bluff Alif Hamilton. But Alif, who was bluffed in race number 1, certainly got his thinking cap perfectly in race number 2. Add that to consummate skill, great pace as he implements the DRS just to make sure that there's no late surprise. Alif Hamilton takes the victory and the 15 available points plus the fastest lap. Kalen Chin, a very credible second. Ayman Hazik, back-to-back podiums for the Malaysian ahead of Dylan Tan. Moreno, the best of the Filipinos, P5. Yevon David started on pole and stayed on the start line at the start finish as 6. Danindro 7. Sohail Shah in 8th place, just ahead of Inigo Anton. And 9th place will be Wei Xiong, who again has had another education out there. But Alif Hamilton, superlatives again. We need to invent 1 or 2 more for him, Alex. This one was a very brainy victory.
Yeah, it was. He was helped a bit, I think, because he didn't have anyone behind him. Because they'd had that gap. There's just Kalen and him out in front, so he could afford to choose his moment, and he chose it well, and that's why he won. And another fastest lap for him again, so job well done.
As always, Alif Hamilton from Singapore, the overall championship leader, and will be extending his lead going into tomorrow's final. So Group A, a really good day for Alif Hamilton again. A nightmare for Andika Rama. Not once, but twice spun out. He recovered in race number 1 to probably pick up enough points that might make this weekend not the catastrophe it threatens to be at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. I've already said it all. I really feel for him. We missed it off camera, but when he got hit off on the start line of the start of race 2, you could see he threw his gloves off on the sim, and he was just so upset. And understandably so. I mean, real disaster for him. It's going to really hurt him in the championship battle. But, you know, Alif did not have a perfect day either. He only finished 3rd in race 1. He didn't get the win he should have got. And that might play into Nakib's hands.
Okay, our focus now turns to Group B, where Nakib Aslan, who is one of the 3 genuine championship challengers, he will be looking to avoid the kind of catastrophes that overcame Andika Rama. Firstly, let's just relive last week's final, 2 weeks ago final, where Nakib had a really good weekend, but still had to settle for 2nd place against Alif Hamilton. Eventually we're underway. Timo Iskander is the man who was given an initial pole position. I'm not sure how that works. Jacques Cisroyo alongside him. So Jacques Cisroyo has got off to a decent start. He's currently in 2nd place. Josh Perwin is also off to a good start. Andika Rama in the midst of things there as well. So Andika Rama is right there. And we are on board with Alif Hamilton. Alif started on the 4th row of the grid. And he's currently now in P7. Jacques Cisroyo it is who holds on to the lead. Josh Perwin in P2. There will be a compulsory pit stop, and the tactics going into that pit stop we've seen throughout Season 1 and Season 2 of eRacing GP, really dictated who ends up on the podium, who ends up with the gold medal. Let's go back up to the top. Josh Perwin overtakes Jacques Cisroyo and takes the lead for the first time. The 17-year-old Perth-based Aussie Into the lead, Sizwoyo, Kalen Chin, Alif and Nakib are right behind. Alif goes into P3 ahead of Kalen Chin. Nakib tries to follow the Singaporean. So 2 changes of position in the top 5 over 2 corners. So halfway is approaching. Mohammed Alif Hamilton is leading the way. Hope you're enjoying this. We're live on Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. And the broadcaster's taking this as well. It may not be real life, but these guys are treating it like real life. Alif Hamilton has a lead of 0.7 of a second from Josh Purwin, who's gone into the pits this time. So Alif Hamilton with the pit stop. Be cautious this time. I'm sure you just want to accelerate away, but you're kept down on your limiter. Now he comes out, and Alif Hamilton, will he come out in the lead? Well, Rama Danindro hasn't pitted, so Rama is ahead of him. But Josh Purwin is ahead of him. Oh, he was. And Alif Hamilton just managed to pull off the maneuver to stay ahead of Josh Purwin. How close was that? Alif is the immovable force, and Kalen Chin, having been relegated down to P4, is certainly not going to give it up. Miko Nasi in P5, a second and a half down. He just can't make that gap up because there's so few errors being made by that front 4.
Alif, though, he really does look more controlled. Look at that Purwin running wide. Will that cost him time? Nakib's going to go down the inside. He's going to give it a go. He is. They make the corner side by side. Oh, that's going to let Kalen through. Kalen's going to go up to P2, and he does. The Singaporean up to P2, and that's allowed fellow Singaporean Alif Hamilton to just break away at the front.
Kalen Chin saw the opportunity and grabbed it with both hands. He's into P2.
Nakib goes down the inside of Purwin. Has contact, but looks like he's made the move.
Indeed.
Can he now extend that gap? Can he now get up to Kalen Chin?
They'll have this, they'll complete this lap and then one more after that. Is that about right?
I think that's about right. But whoa, look, Nakib's got the DRS. He's going to go to the outside. He's going to go around the outside at turn 4, and he does. He makes it easy.
Kalen Chin has dropped down to P7, Alex. Sorry to cut in. Ayman Hazik has got into P4. Something has happened to Kalen Chin, and he is slowing right down.
I think he's got a puncher. Look at that. He's got a puncher. He's struggling to keep the car on track. We just talked about tyre wear being so hard.
And Dika overtakes Kalen Chin up at the front. Alif goes round the penultimate corner. Alif is just about set. He will come home and take an imperious victory by over 3.5 seconds. Alif Hamilton for Singapore wins it. Nakib for Malaysia in second. Ayman Hazik beating off Josh Purwin for P3. Jason Tay in 5 holds off Miko Nasi. And Dika Rama has a bonus 7th, and poor old Kalen Chin limps in 8th place. But Alif Hamilton in set, well, will just extend his already good lead at the top of the championship standings. Fist pump from Alif Hamilton because he is top of the standings, and he's got another 30 plus points to add after his third and first in Group A's race earlier on tonight. Andy Karama had a nightmare time in Race A, but they're the top 3. Don't completely write off Josh Purwin or even Kalen Chin. They could still have points to drop from their worst round, and so you never know. Alif could find himself in a real battle. Welcome to eRacing GP Global Edition. We are at the Imola circuit. It is now Group B. Nakib Aslan, Alex Young, is the man who really cannot afford to make any mistakes.
Yeah, that's right. So Nakib's his rivals have opened the door for him. Nakib's second in the championship. When you consider drop points coming into this round, the top 3 are very, very close. But we just seen Group A, Andika Rama, he had a disaster, got taken out in both races through no fault of his own, so he's collected very little points. Alif Hamilton, he didn't qualify very well, so he lost some points there, and he only finished 3rd in race 1. So this is really Nakib, and he's in shot right now. This is his chance. If he can get some good points, put it on pole, win one race, maybe 2 podium results, and that'll put him in the championship lead when you consider drop points.
However, this isn't a gimme because there's some very good race out there. The likes of Tubagas, who hasn't really had a consistent season, but we know he can be very quick. Jason Tay, who we saw doing a flying lap around Imola, he's been practicing very hard as well, and the Singaporean is one of number who are capable of getting up to the top level on occasion.
Yeah, let's have a look at the spotters guide now. See all the different liveries. Are you just talking about, there you are, these are the top qualifiers from the weekly leaderboard. Nakib there in the top left. Josh Perwin, you mentioned Josh, the Australian. He still hasn't won a final yet. He'll be aching for that. You mentioned Jason Tay, Amir Hakim. Arjun Maini is back with us as well again, the young Indian driver, the Formula 2 racer, one of the few real-life racers, outstanding driver. He's still not won a final as well. So a few drivers here we know capable of winning finals, but just haven't been able to manufacture a complete weekend yet. 16
of those 20 who were on that spotters guide are out on the circuit at the moment. Akila Chandra makes number 16. Again, there's a fair amount of pace there. Melvin Moe is always worth looking at. He can be considered very, very quick. So practice is over. Now the guys have got 5 minutes to put in as quick a lap as they can get. They were getting 1:36.5s in Group A. Is that the kind of pace you're expecting in Group B as well?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I think a low 36 is possible. So let's see. Let's follow Mohammed Nakib. This is the guy that's had the door open for him with his championship rivals. Have not had perfect races in Group A. So look at him. Wow, I get so close to the wall there, just trying to make his... Oh, he's restarting the lap, in fact. Okay, let's follow Josh Perwin. He's another driver, I feel, who has a chance of stealing pole position. But you never know. This is the perfect sort of day, perfect sort of track where you might have some surprises. We saw a surprise in Group A with Ayman Haziq taking his first win. But let's follow Josh Perwin right now in the pink Mercedes. Down the long, long straight where the DRS has a big effect. Into turn 2. Gotta nail your braking right here. Oh, he's gone too late. He's gone too late, but he's okay. He's able to get full throttle. That maybe a couple tenths there would have cost him. But you have another chance to do another lap. It's a better idea just to finish this lap, get this lap in the board just in case, and then try again for lap 2. Now into Tosa. That's it. Nice and late on the brake. Does he snatch first gear? Yes, he does. I think he does. He looks like he had a bit of wheel spin on the way out. Now all the way back up, climbing up the hill to Peratella. Lots of speed you got to carry here. Ooh, didn't use all the road like I thought he would use. I thought he'd use some of the green stuff as well. But now to Aqua Minerale. Oof, nice and late on the brake. You got to thread the eye of the needle here to be perfect and not get sideways on the exit. And Josh doesn't get sideways on the exit. That's the sort of exit you need out of there. Now got to spot the braking for here. Oh, you brake so late here, and you just... Oh, that looks just about right. This looks like it'll be good Sector 2. Yes, it is a good Sector 2. He's purple in Sector 1. No longer purple in Sector 1. Someone else has gone quicker. Purple in Sector 2. 2 more corners to go. This double left-hander. Oh, he's so late in the brakes here. Okay, looks good through there. Now he's got to get a perfect exit out of this last corner. Oh, that looks good. That looks really good. This will be good enough for pole position. But we saw on the lap before it wasn't perfect, so there's still a bit more time in the bag. So he's going to get a chance to start another lap. That's pole position at 36.8. Not quick enough for pole, I feel. I feel there'll be other cars going quicker, and there is. Ayman Hakim has gone quicker. Well done, a 38.4. The other Ayman from Malaysia. Maybe it's his turn to shine. We've just seen Ayman Haziq win race 1. Maybe he can do it for race 2. He's continuing on his lap. He hasn't restarted this lap, strangely enough. He's just carrying on with this lap. Sometimes they like to restart the lap. Let's see what's Sector 1. Whoa, 2 tenths quicker. That's looking very good. And Mohammed Nakib's gone second. But that's not a great lap. A 36.6 from Nakib. But let's stay with Ayman Hakim because he's just gone 2 2700ths quicker in Sector 1. I know he likes his track. Both the Aymans love the DTM cars. He was really using carrying a lot of speed through that corner just now. Maybe even a touch too much. I think he missed the apex a bit. But he looks super clean out of Aqua Minerale. Small wiggle, but not enough that would cost him enough time. Let's see if he spots his braking into the chicane here. Ooh, yes, he does. Oh, can he get it turned? Ooh, I think that was too much. Too much. That would have cost him some time. Look at that. He's down on Sector 2. He's actually gone quite a bit slower in Sector 2 than the lap before. But his excellent Sector 1. Oh, he's restarting the lap. No, why did he... No.
He hasn't got time, does he? Through Mohammed Nakib as...
Because he was really up. Flowed across the finish line, didn't he? But let's take nothing away from Jason Tay. That was a really good lap. We were on board with him at the top of the show of the Group A as he showed us how he drives this track. The Singaporean has been very quick. I kind of put him. I kind of put him. You know he's quick. You know he's capable of winning. But he's never can to get that win in the final. So he's a really good start now. Pole position. He gets 5 points for pole position. Let's see if he can win race 1.
The Shell red and white car as the red lights are ready to go off. Jason Tay will be on pole position. He gets off to a good start, Jason Tay. Or does he? No, on the inside. Ayman Hakim has just taken him on the inside. And Jason Tay drops down into P2, Alex Young. Ayman Hakim, you're quite right. The two Aymans are loving this Imola circuit. And they've dragged Hakim into P3 along with them.
Wow, so Nakib's going to get a run, and Ayman there trying to go side by side with Jason Tay. I think he's going to lose the position. No, he doesn't. He just goes round the outside. Well done. Maximum attack, fully aggressive. Now Nakib looks to the inside, though. Into Tosa. Oh, there's contact between the two Malaysians. Oh, wow. I think unnecessary contact so early in the race. Still 20 minutes to go. But up ahead of him, Jason Tay is pulling a small gap in the Shell BMW.
The worst thing for Nakib to do is get involved in so much contact that he gets thrown out of the game. We've already seen Andika Rama have problems of not picking up any points in race 2 last time around. Nakib, though, is just ahead of Ayman Hakim. Josh Purwin in the pink in P3 ahead of Ryan Keith and India's Arjun Maini and Melvin Moe. Some good racing going on. Patrick Levesque from Thailand. All 16 races have got up to a solid start. No collisions this time, unlike in Group A.
Well, Josh had a poor exit out of the chicane, and that's allowed Ryan Keith to take the position. But Purwin goes straight back and takes 4th position again. But, you know, if I was Purwin, I'd have let him take that position, because then he would have had DRS on the next lap. As it is, look at that gap now between the drivers. There's a big gap. The top 3 have just motored away from the battle for 4th position.
So the battle between Nakib and Ayman, that's pretty close as Nakib goes into P1 for the very first time, utilises the DRS, and I think Alex just wants to get himself out of any real danger. Drag these 3 with him, make sure he gets a podium, and then just do the correct calculations at the tail end of the 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's very important he finishes on the podium for both races, I feel, if he really wants to put pressure on Alif. Now, Ayman Hakim there, you were riding on with him. He's on 3rd position. He's looking down this battle for the top 2. Got a bit of a gap to position 4th. Maybe if we can work together, we can extend this gap, and then it can just be a 3-way fight for the lead.
It is a huge gap to P4. Ryan Keith is 4+ seconds down. He's dragged Arjun Maini. Melvin Moen was an outside contender coming into the start of this race, but it's not working out that way. Purwin under pressure.
Wow, very uncharacteristic mistakes from Josh. I wonder if he's had... It looks like he's not had... So not those sort of mistakes I expect the Australian to make. So yeah, it looks very rusty there. And now, look, he's over now.
Certainly have. Nakib it is who still leads the way. He was over a second clear of Jake and down. Ayman Hakim is right behind them. Then there's a 5-second gap to Arjun Maini and Ryan.
From Hakim, if they keep on fighting like this, Ayman, they keep...
what's the word I'm after?
Cooperation.
Conviviality.
Yeah, cooperation, conviviality. That's what they need to do.
Jason Tay, Arjun Maini in P5 for India is a long way down. Josh Purwin, let's have a look at him. He's not really been able to...
Yeah, it's a big chunk. It's really spread out this race compared to what we saw. We cooperate together to close the gap to Nakib, and then all 3 of you can fight for the lead. But if they
DRS, but he's able to maintain that lead maybe until the latter stages of this lap. Maybe that's when Ayman Hakim...
A lot, you know, we got 14 minutes to go. Tay and Hakim can close that gap really, really quickly, and to be clever. So Jason Tay is going to come back at him on the next lap, and he needs to make sure he doesn't fight with him and just lets him through so that they can work together and use...
Ryan Keith and Josh Purwin battling with Arjun Maini. This is a battle for P4. Purwin has been able to get close to Arjun and Ryan Keith, and Purwin, well, he needs to make some progress. You see in the far distance the front three, but Purwin's focus very much on the two blue cars of India's Arjun Maini and Singapore's Ryan Keith.
They're having their own battle. So, we had 12 minutes to go. I think Purwin, the best he can hope for is 4th position. The top 3 have just gone way too far. The scrappy first couple of laps by the Australian really hurt him. Arjun Maini, though, he's in 4th position right now. He's leading this small train, this well, I wouldn't call it a peloton, because the peloton, I guess, would be in the front bunch. But it's very close indeed. Purwin will be aimed to try and use the DRS to try and follow these cars over the line so he can have the DRS for the next lap and try and pull a gap. That's how it's working out at Imola. This front straight is so long. As we see a car go off in the distance, someone's gone into the barrier.
There's a slight lagging problem, or big lagging problem, so bear with us where the internet connectivity on a Friday night is sometimes affected. The man who was involved in that crash, I think, may well have been Su Tin Su. He's back down into P13. All on his own at the moment, though, is Nakib. And Ayman Hakim has been able to pull a big lead off Jason Tay, Alex. And, I thought that Jason would be outside of DRS range, but he's just got he's got that back just in time.
I don't know, off screen somehow. Maybe Jason made a mistake. I was expecting him to coming back at Ayman Hakim, but he's that small gap. Don't worry, we've still got 11.5 minutes to go. The two of them will come back together again. And like I said, if they start working together, they'll close the gap to Nakib pretty quickly.
Jason Tay and Ayman Hakim with over 11 minutes still to race. Nakib, it can be a lonely place if you're leading out in the front, Alex Young. It can be very lonely, but Nakib is confident enough to be able to take this from the front.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's 1.5 seconds. It's staying at that gap. I mean, the best lap of the race so far is Mohammad Nakib at 36.1. Hakim did 36.3 with a bit of DRS, and Mohammad Nakib was a 30. Hakim is closing. Really needs Jason Tay to get close to him to help him with the DRS.
Let's look a little bit further down. The battle for P4 is being won by Ryan past Arjun Maini. So Purwin has made up a little bit of the ground, and maybe with DRS on, he will come close to overtaking Ryan, feeling the heat.
Oh, Josh is he's done the DRS too early. I would have done it a little bit later. As it is, now he's gonna cross the line in front of Dylan. No, he doesn't. Okay, that's just perfect. So now he's got the DRS. He's gonna breeze past. Josh will have 3 more shots of the DRS, so you should be able to
back as far. Sorry, you've got Melvin Moakila and Patrick Levesque. Levesque on board with him. Akila feeling the pressure. Always like to see how the guy's doing. And Darren Ivan, he's crashed out, he's spun out, and will disappear from the race. Back to the front, Alex. Nakib, he has been very, very consistent.
Yeah. He has 1.2 seconds in front now, just outside of DRS range. He's just driving really smoothly. He's putting the laps together. Tires are starting to go off. They're no longer in the low 36s. They're in the high 36s now, low 37s. So the tires are going off, and I'm not surprised. We're getting towards the tail end of this race now. But Ayman, he's just tantalizing, just 2/10 outside of DRS zone. If he can just find a little bit more time, he'll be able to take this fight for the win.
Just needs to find that time, as you say. Again, sorry for the lagging issues. Friday night seems to be particularly busy as people get home from work around Southeast Asia. We will carry on the racing though, and Mohammad Nakib is the man who may well be coming under pressure, because Ayman Hakim is closing. He's now to within a second, Alex Young.
Yeah, wow. He's had an excellent first sector here right now, and he's very much in the fight now. If he can just keep it close, he'll need to be perfect for this next middle and last sector. If he is, he'll have that DRS, and he's won with us before, but it's always been reverse grid races. He hasn't won a normal race number 1. This is going to be his best chance to do it as well. He's seen his countryman Ayman Hazik do it in Group A. Wouldn't it be fantastic if Ayman Hakim, the other Malaysian with good experience in race room, could win it in Group B?
For the first time, he's inside a second. Nakib will desperately try to extend that lead beyond the second. As you can see, top left of your screen, that's the crucial timing for you. Ayman Hakim currently in P2 in the pink. He's now... Oh, this is going to be nip and tuck. Will he be within DRS range? The answer, Alex, is...
Back. He doesn't have the drag reduction system working because he's not close enough. So Nakib survives 6.5 minutes ago. Just over 6 minutes ago. If he can hold on to that, Ayman is so close though. Just tell you what, Ayman's looking very committed, very quick. He's doing everything right. Wow, look how much he's nailed that. 1.1 seconds now. But Nakib a little bit late on the brakes there, but he has a good exit. That's okay. You can miss the apex there. It's much more important to get the braking right and the rotation than early on the throttle. But yeah, 1. Just needs a couple more tenths. Has a small wiggle on the exit there. But Nakib, he's doing a job. He's just hitting his points right now. This is where he can really put a man that can stop him. Is in the pink Mercedes right now. His fellow Malaysian, Ayman Hakim, is just...
And Ayman had a really good battle earlier on. And Josh Perwin, well, he's 7 seconds down on Jason Tay. So for Josh... it's a lot of work to do in the final 5 minutes of the race. Not beyond the realms of possibility. He can get a podium, but a mighty tough task. He'll require Jason to make a mistake.
Yeah, poor Josh. Well, no, not poor actually. I mean, it was his own fault, I suppose. He just had a scrappy first few laps. He'll know that. He'll be kicking himself for it. But he'll look at the reverse grid race, and of course, there's all the big important final tomorrow. But Nakib, look at that. Ayman Hakim's now within 7/10 of Nakib. Where did that time come from? Oh, that's why Nakib's running out of tires. He's looking how much sideways he got out of Tosa there. He lost so much grip. He's been pushing very hard. Both these drivers are pushing really hard. And now it looks like the ball has fallen back into the pink Mercedes court. Because Nakib has just got sideways a few times, made a few mistakes. And look at that. Ayman Hakim's now within DRS zone.
Ayman Hazik won race number 1 in Group A. As you keep saying, it could be a good day for the Malaysians who you've expected to be a little bit more competitive. And Ayman Hakim is really putting pressure on his countryman Mohammed Nakib. Jason Tay a distant third. Josh Perwin from Australia and Arjun Maini from India also distant. Actually, let's just very quickly catch up with Arjun Maini. He's not too far behind Josh Perwin, Alex, and beginning to make a move.
Yeah, he's within DRS zone as well. Indian driver, him and Perwin have had some great battles in that first global edition. And then Arjun disappeared for a couple of races because he had to get back to real racing. He's racing in European Le Mans this year. So he's very busy. That calendar's just about started, and I know they've all started testing him and Richard Bradley, who's also been racing with us, but they're back to real racing now. But it's good to have him back with us and to renew that battle with Perwin. Look at that, DRS is on. His rear wing is tilted back. Oh, he's closing in nicely on Perwin. He'll probably get him this lap, to be honest.
So there is Arjun Maini. We're just on this at the moment. I need to go back to Mohammed Nakib because Ayman is still very close. What have we got? 3:12 to race. So there's 2 plus this lap, Alex. It could be 2.5 laps from home.
Okay, 2.5 laps from home. So you kind of want to not lead on the penultimate lap. I mean, you want to lead on the you want to be second onto the last lap. And
but close. But close second. Yeah,
you don't want to be too far away. Ayman's too far. Oh, Nakib sideways again. He's definitely struggling with tire wear. Just getting sideways. He's just used up a lot of his tires there. And Ayman's done a better job of looking at the tires. So wow, it's the day of the Aymans. Both Aymans driving very, very well so far.
Could be a film named after that. It's the pink of Ayman Hakim though. Surely won't make his move now. Surely this would be too early to go now.
Well, we'll soon find out. Let's see what Hakim does. He's in second position right now, shadowing the blue car. Oh, look at that. Yeah, he puts on the DRS zone, so he's going to go now. He's going to go now and try and break the gap and hold it over the last line. So, okay, Nakib's got to tuck back up into the slipstream and try not to lose any space here. But Hakim, okay, he's going to go. He's going to be the rabbit. 2 more laps to go. He's going to have to be perfect over this next lap. Oh, Nakib gets sideways again. He's made another mistake. Whoa, Nakib. 4 tenths, 5 tenths. Ayman's almost there. He's got to get her over a second. And that's it. The race win is his.
Nakib has got to battle hard. He's got the fastest fastest lap time of 1:36.1, but that you suspect was on good tyres. His last lap, Alex, a 1:38.1, and you've mentioned it a couple of times. Tyre wear is really counting against him. He's staying close though. He's got within 0.4 of a second, but the DRS advantage belongs to Ayman Nakib.
Yeah, it does. So he's in within half a second, but Ayman's still holding his DRS. So this is where it comes. You know, Nakib had a very good middle sector there, so he's able not to limit the loss. But this is where Akeem uses the DRS. Look at that. He's got the DRS open now, so he's pulling out 6 tenths, 7 tenths. Now, as they break for this double left-hander here, 2 more corners to go. Who can be more perfect? Oh, Ayman's made a mistake. Oh, wow. Has that just cost him the race win?
Wow.
Okay, Nakib, see, he's not using the DRS. He's being smart. He's holding, because he has no DRS, sorry. So this is where it's got to happen now. So Akeem's got DRS, but as they cross the line, now Nakib's got DRS. 1 more lap to go. That mistake, though, on the penultimate corner, that could cost Ayman Akeem the race win. Because now Ayman in the lead has no more DRS, but Nakib has 3 DRSs to be used. On this last lap, can he get him before the start-finish line? That's the question.
What a time to make a mistake. That is what pressure can do, though. Ayman Hakim had done everything just about perfectly till that moment. Now, is he able to hold on? We'll go on board Mohammed Nakib. Has a look as they go around toes. A little squiggle, a little wiggle from the 2 of them. 3/4 of a lap to go. It's a sprint for the line. Ayman Hakim in the pink, in the lead, but has a major disadvantage. Nakib is right on the tail of Ayman Hakim. It's been a thrilling battle between these 2.
Wow, look at that. They're so on the limit right now. I would use the DRS now, Nakib. You've got 3 of them to go, I think. He's definitely going to use it after the chicane. Maybe he feels he's close enough. Okay, so he's going to use it. He's got to get a good exit out of here. There he goes. Now the DRS is there. He's within 4 tenths. He's got to be right on the back of him to cross the line before the start-finish straight. So he's got to be. Who's going to get these next 2 corners the most perfect? That is the big question, Des.
Well, Ayman has held on so far. Nakib, we're coming right towards the end. Nakib puts the DRS on. Nakib sprints for the line. Is he going to get there? Defending from Ayman. Nakib takes it literally on the line. What a magnificent victory from Nakib Aslan. You could not have timed it better, Alex Young.
Wow, that was close. Ayman Hakim there was squeezing him to the grass at the very last minute. I bet he was thinking about taking him out, but he left in just enough room, which was the right thing to do. So Nakib takes the win.
And Arjamani picking up P5, loser sprint battle with Josh Berwin, Ryan Keith 6, Melvin Moe 7. Mohammed Nakib, though, takes the points, the 25 points for the victory. He was helped, though, by that mistake at the end of the penultimate lap by Ayman Hakim, because for so long, Alex Young, Ayman had done the perfect job until the wiggle at the end.
Yeah, I really do feel for him, because he really does deserve a race win in the first, because, you know, the race 1s are more important because they're not reverse grids, and he hadn't won a race 1. His good friend Ayman Hazik just did it in Group A, and he almost did it in Group B. He drove really, really well, though.
So Nakib Aslam does superbly. Wow is the reaction from the Facebook fans. JS Navarro, dead right, wow. Clash of the Malaysians for top spot from Mohammed Shami. What a clash it was, and what a victory by a nose, they say, in horse racing. Nakib takes the victory. Brilliant stuff.
So now I'm replaying just what happened as he crossed the line there. You know, Ayman Hakim's going to be thinking about it all night. He'll be thinking, oh, maybe if I just hugged the wall. Because you can see him squeezing him to the outside. And I wonder if he'd just gone to the inside and try to do the shorter distance. Maybe he might have held that. I don't know. I really don't know. But wow, it's so close. You're right though. Ayman Hakim, I think he lost it on the penultimate lap when he made a mistake to the penultimate corner of that lap. If he hadn't made that mistake, he would have had a couple more tenths, 3 more tenths, I think, over Nakib as he started that last blast to the line, and maybe he could have held on for the win.
eRacing GP Global Edition. It is the gold qualification matches. This is Group B, and we are just about ready to go. We're at the Imola circuit. We've got 20 minutes to go, and what a race we had in race number 1. But those two will start at the very back. Nicholas Stephen and Mohammed Khalif, and Darren Evan will be on the front row of the grid. Darren Evan in the Red Bull car. He was kicked out of race number 1. He's off to a ponderous start in race number 2. Very quickly was Brody Steen. Brody Steen comes through on the outside, makes a 1, 2, 3 place, all very physical in there amongst the starters. Ayman Hakim's got off to a good start, and Hakim staying out of trouble. But Nicholas Stephen, it is Alex Young, who leads from Mark Valter-Elman and Sutin Shu at the start of the, well, as I come up to Tosa.
Yeah, so this race is very much more, you've got to be a bit more careful. A few more cars in this group than in Group A, so because we had a couple last minute withdrawals in Group A. So this reverse grid race is going to be a lot tougher than the Group A match, because there are more cars for the guys who start at the back. So you have to be very careful and pick your moments as you come through this first couple laps.
Well, if I tell you, Mohammed Hakim has picked his moments pretty nicely. He's just gone on the inside of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vehicles. He's got himself up into the top 10. Ayman Hakim this time is shadowing Nakib. He's got himself up into P12. But at the front, it's Nicholas Stephen leading Mark Valter-Elman. It's Indonesia, Philippines, Indonesia, and Tubagus Farhan. Good to see Tubagus back. Expect something spectacular from Tubagus. Rarely fails to deliver the spectacular action.
Race winner here with us, the Global Edition. We know he can win. We've seen some fantastic pace from him in the past. He's kind of gone off the boil a little bit the last few rounds, but this could be his moment now to try and show us again how good a racer he is.
He's in P3 at the moment. Taiwan Su is just behind them. He's in the dark grey, followed by the always quick Brody Steen from Australia and Ryan Keith from Singapore. Darren Ivan, who started on pole position, has dropped down quite considerably. Nakib, Alex, has just worked his way up into P8 through the first lap.
Wow, what a great lap for him. But what happened to Perwin and Ayman? Because Perwin and Ayman were right with Nakib and they've dropped right to the back. So just off screen, they must have had it coming together. Oh wow, they really have their work cut out now.
So they are 14 and 15 out of the points at the moment. This is Ayman Hakim, who may well still be thinking about race number 1, Alex. He was so close to the victory, pipped literally in the last 100 metres. And Josh Perwin, who got himself a P4, needs to pick up some points if he's got any outside chance of a title. Up at the front though, Nicholas Stephen, under pressure from Philippines, Mark Valter-Elman.
Oh, but Elman has a poor exit. He's looking to the inside, and that compromises exit. And look at that, the Mercedes there of Tobagos, and just goes through around the outside of him. A really nice move there. Tobagos, so he's got the pace. He can win this race. He'll be looking to use DRS across the start-finish line. Oh, look at that. Elman, though, looks to the inside. That's a really tough place to overtake. You can go down the inside of someone there. Tobagos, though, just holds him off.
Tubagus Farhan, he's now trying to get a little bit of a move on Nicholas Stephen. Tubagus goes through the inside. Tubagus Farhan Naufal is the new race leader, but pushes it wide, and Mark Valter-Elman is trying to pick up that individual slot. Nakib, Alex, P3. Look at him in the middle of that group, will be competing for P1.
Wow, Elman got past inside Tobagos, and they came and they had it coming together and just ruined their exit. And look at that, Nakib is now leading.
Nakib Aslan takes the lead, my word. He's gone, well, he went early in last race, Alex, lost that lead 3 laps from home and took it right on the line. He's decided to go early once again, but he's not got the quality of racers behind him. He may well be able to put a big lead ahead of the likes of Tubagus, Valter-Elman and Brody Steen.
Yeah, so out of all the cars that are just directly behind him, I think only Tobagos has the pace to stay with him. But whoa, sometimes you have laps like that as a leader coming through, where the seas just kind of part for you, and they just parted for Nakib perfectly. I got a feeling Andika Rama and Alif are probably at home watching this, and they're all crying, no! Because they're fighting this blue car for the championship, and this is playing into Nakib's hands perfectly.
Well, he's established a 1 second lead. Tobagas, we know, is quick, so don't write him off completely. But Tobagas has got Mark Valter-Elman, the always quick Brody Steen, and Jason Tay for company. The two Shell red and white cars are in 3rd and 5th respectively, so they are quick, but Nakib really trying to make a move. Further down, Perwin has got himself up into P12, but Ayman Hakim, Alex, is still struggling. He's down in P14 and out of the points.
Yeah, so we'll have to look later and see what happened to that. Maybe the protest will come in. I do enjoy it when the protest comes in because we get to see action that we otherwise missed during the race. Hopefully there'll be no penalties though. If they are, I'm sure they're well deserved. But back at the front, Nakib pulling out that gap. Wow, 2.6 seconds, 2.5 seconds.
Gosh, it's his own screen. He's got Tobagas behind him. Brody Steen's edged his way up into P3. Remember Brody, he won a reverse race grid in season number 1. Can be lightning quick off the line. He drove the Porsche in season 1, if I remember. Yep. He's in a more respectable BMW for season 2. But looking pretty respectable here in P3. Going out is Akila Chandra. I think he had a lag issue, and Akila joins Ryan Keith as casualties.
Such a shame. We lose Chandra, but here we are, back to the battle for second position right now. Brody Steen again, following Tobagas, but they have no answer. Look at Nakib, it's like he's driving a different car at the moment. 3.3 seconds in front now.
Incredible from Mohamed Nakib. He's looking for a perfect weekend to close the gap on Alif Hamilton. Alif Hamilton had a 3rd and a 1st in Group A. So Nakib knows he's got he's got an opportunity to pick up some points at least and really take us to a battle royale on the final race of the season next weekend and also in tomorrow's final. Andika Rama had a nightmare though, I can tell you, so this is good news for Mohamed Nakib. Behind them, Tobagas in a real scrap. Jason Tay's got himself up into P4 and is looking onto the corner of Brody Steen, and we'll have DRS on Brody Steen, and Tobagas will come under pressure from Steen, who goes into P2, and Jason Tay will be dragged along with him into P4.
Yeah, Tobagas shouldn't fight him, he should just follow him through. Oh, but now he's getting into a scrap with Jason Tay. Okay, just concede the position, Tobagas, just follow him behind. Maybe you can take advantage of the DRS the next lap to get past him again, and maybe the three of them, if they work together, they can close the gap to Nakib. Although, that's really a long shot. Look at Nakib's gap now. 5 seconds. Wow.
Brody Steen, best of the rest. Further down, Nicholas Stephen is in a battle. Josh Perwin's got himself up into P8. Perwin in the pink has just overtaken Nicholas Stephen, who, remember, was on pole position. And Perwin tries to take on Levecque as well. Perwin in P8 will move up into P7. Levecque drops down 1 place to P8. Highlands 1 representative up at the front. Nakib's lead is now 6 seconds. It's his own race, it's his own practice circuit, Imola.
Yes, he's really nailing it now. And I tell you what, fastest lap of 36.3. It's, the race pace in Group B has been very good for the two cars. Ayman and him, Nakib, have been in the low 36s, which we've not seen at all today. Even in qualifying, we haven't been that quick. So shows the pace is there, and Nakib's using it really well. This last lap, 36.4, so he's really 36.7 now. So he's really pushing hard.
Man on a mission, says Haris Shami. I think you're quite right, young fella. Welcome on board to Miko Nasi. Hope you're feeling better, Miko. We're missing you out on the circuit today. And also, warm welcome to JS Navarro. So, hope you're enjoying it. And to Zuriel Sumadabilia, who will be getting ready for the Copper race going on later on tonight. He's the championship leader, but Mohamed Nakib leading by a long way. Jason Tay's got himself into P2. Now, Jason Tay, Alex, is quick enough to maybe challenge Nakib if he can have a couple of exquisite laps.
Yeah, well, Yeah, so it's definitely the battle for second position right now, isn't it? I mean, 6 seconds. The leader's pulled out 6 seconds. So these guys are kind of squabbling amongst themselves, but they weren't squabbling too hard. It must be a strange feeling for these guys because they're pushing. They might have been looking in the rearview mirrors for a couple of times, and suddenly they'd have looked ahead of them and gone, hey, where's the leader gone?
He must have crashed out. We're in the lead.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they think they're in the lead.
Josh Purwin has got himself up into P7, and Ayman Akim has recovered as well. So Josh is going forward. Leveke is the meat in that pink sandwich.
Ayman actually has done a really good recovery here because he wasn't just last. He was last by a long way. So probably did a complete spin at some point in those early laps. So he's recovered quite well. And he'll be keen to try and get back with Josh because I think it must have been a coming together between the two of them that put him to the back in the first place. Melvin
Moe is the man who's at the back at the moment. It's a lonely place to be at the very back as Ayman Akim makes a move on Leveke, implements the DRS. Leveke tries to defend by the pit wall, but Ayman Akim goes up into P8. Purwin ahead of him in P7, but they are 4 seconds down on Mark Velter-Elman in P6. A lot of work for the men in pink to do.
Yeah, but the men in pink, they'll know how to work together. Actually, if I was Purwin, I would slow down a bit and let Ayman catch up to him. Then they could both kind of use the DRS and slipstream together to try and close that gap to P4, because otherwise Purwin's going to find it very hard. I mean, he will close the gap. It's just a question whether there's enough time. It's 9 minutes. There's not enough time to do it.
Trying to battle with Tubagas Farhan, and Tubagas is in P4. Sue is trying to just nip through on the inside. Tubagas defends. Sue eventually, is he able to get through? It's really close between the two of them. Tubagas, we're on board with Tubagas and Sue in the darker colour grey up the chicane. That is a hairy place to make the overtake manoeuvre, but that's exactly what Sutin Sue has exactly done.
Yeah, it's kind of yeah, but the problem with making that move at that place is it costs you a lot of time. So he's got the position, but look at that, the gap to the car in front is huge, and now Tubagas has got back in front again. So, we've had a connection issue. Oh no, he's back again. So if I was Sue, I wouldn't have made that move because it cost him too much time. But now look at that, Tubagas is kind of, one of them is obviously got some lag.
Tubagas, I think.
I think it's Tubagas. But now Sue has the DRS. But is he using it? He is using it. No, he's not using it. But he's letting Tubagas keep the position for now.
Alright, let's go back to the front. And Mohammed Nakib, I think. I've lost control. Just on this for a moment.
Yeah. So some internet issues. But yeah, we're watching Sue right now. Right behind Tubagas. And then behind him in the BMW, the Shell BMW. Is Mark Velter. He was right up in the lead in the first few laps, but he's dropped back a little bit off the pace at the moment.
Well, following this, I can tell you Mohammed Nakib's lead is still a massive 6.7 seconds there. We've got control back. Jason Tay, best of the rest, and Jason has pulled a 3-second lead over Brody Steen. Steen's pulled a lead over Tubagas. It's very rare for us to get this kind of procession, but Mohammed Nakib, he's made this race his own, Alex, and he's just strung the rest of the field out along with him.
Yeah, this is really going to be good for his championship. I mean, we're not going to calculate championships tonight. We'll do it after the final tomorrow. But from what I can see, this will put him right up there with Alif when you don't consider points dropped. But if you do consider drop points, this might be enough to put him in the championship lead.
Absolutely.
But look at that. There's some damage on his car. I wonder if he had some contact in the first few laps. Maybe one of the pink cars, which put him to the back. And if that's the case, this win might not be so straightforward then if we have to go back to the stewards.
6.5 minutes still to go. Even if he lost 30 seconds, he'd still be in the top 5. Not quite, no. If he lost 30 seconds, he'd be a long way down. But we'll worry about that when we can. Meantime, Tubagas, he and Sue having a cracking little race of their own. Let's not forget it's not all about championship points, Alex. There's the machismo of wanting to just get the better of your man. And this is mano a mano. Indonesia versus Taiwan. A struggle, an arm wrestle. And at the moment, Sue is able to hold off Tubagas Farham. but Tubagus will not pull out of a fight.
Nah, Tubagus never gives up. He's got a long way to go, so, well, not a long way to go, 5 minutes to go, but this is a long way from being over. And both of them, they're just edging a little bit closer to Brody Steen at this point. So Sue will be using the DRS. Oh, but he spins out. Oh, I was going to just say he was doing a good job and he would have had 2 more goes with the DRS, which would have just put him up to Brody Steen nicely. But as it is now, it's now a 2-horse battle for position 3, the last spot on the podium. You can see the 3rd place man, Brody Steen, in the BMW just ahead of Tubagus in this greyish Mercedes.
We are missing a key man. Josh Perwin, Alex, has disappeared.
Has he? He has disappeared.
He has. Josh Perwin is out of the race. Ayman Hakim in P6, so Perwin, oh dear, I can only think there's an internet connectivity problem there. Mohammed Nakib leads the way. He's got damage. Jason Tay in 2nd place. Perwin was making his way forward quite nicely, but now he's out, and that means Ayman Hakim might fancy a little bit of an improvement. He's up into P6, but poor old Josh.
It seems to be coming into a bit of a race of survival. Here on eRacing, we don't have mechanical failures like real life races where the cars break down, but we do sometimes have internet dropouts, and we do have mechanical failures in the rigs, but you can see quite a few cars sporting some damage. You sometimes see that in a reverse grid race, but you also see that if the internet drops off sometimes because the game loses you a bit and you kind of go through a wall and then you come back on track. But because the game's ready as going through a wall, you have that damage in the car. And when the damage is this bad, it definitely affects your lap time. The steering will be a bit crooked, the car will crab a bit down the straight, and it will cost a little bit of lap time, and you just have to adjust your driving so that you can try and limit the loss. And it looks like pretty much, I don't see a straight car out there, Des. At the moment, they all look a little bit bent.
That's Jason Tay in 2nd. He's nearly 9 seconds down on that key. Brody Steen in 3rd place. His looks spick and span. He's done all right, and he's had a good race, but he'll come under pressure from Tubagus Farhan in the not too distant future. 3:35 to go. We've, what's that, 2-3 this lap plus 2 more. I think this lap put 2 more, and Ayman Hakim is trying to put the disastrous finish of race number 1 behind him. Not disastrous, he was literally pipped here at the finishing line. And he's got DRS, and Ayman can pull himself up into P5 and will be within 2.5 seconds of Tubagus Farhan.
Wow, so is there enough time? He's got he's got the 3 DRSs on this lap.
And there could be 3 laps left, Alex.
Yeah, so
3.
I think he might have enough time, and we know how quick Ayman is. He was so quick. Oh, but he's made a mistake. Oh, that's going to cost him half a second at least. Oh, shame. But you know, I mean, he'll definitely keep 5th position at this point. But that, you know, when you're pushing hard and you're trying to get in the battle for 3rd position, you don't need a mistake like that.
Man in 4th place is Tubagus Farhan, who's closing a little bit on Brody Steen. Brody will look and he'll see the forbidding clouds and the same colour grey car of Tubagus Farhan, the Indonesian. Can make spectacular moments. He won't pull out. If he's got a chance of a P3, Tubagus will take it and blow the consequences.
Yeah, that's true. Tubagus there, he's right up there with him now. These two start scrapping will also play into Ayman Hakim's hands, because Ayman will fancy his chances of then closing the gap to these two.
Well, there is Tubagus. Comes around this sharp left-hander. And it's the double left-hander, and towards the tail end of this circuit, they'll come into the start-finish line. 1:51 to go, so there will be 2 more laps, Alex Young. Mohammed Nakib is already on the first of those 2 out laps, and 9 seconds clear from Nakib.
This has been the most dominant victory we've seen, I think, in Global Edition ever, perhaps. A 10-second lead, especially in a reverse grid race. That's pretty special indeed. I mean, he got pretty lucky in those first couple of laps. Drivers were... The sea just parted for him, but he's made full use of that. He's had great pace despite a damaged car, and 10 seconds is a big gap.
We're on the battle for P3. Brody Steen in the white and blue under real pressure from Tubagus, the Indonesian chasing the Australian. Ayman Hakim, as you quite rightly pointed out, in the pink, not too far behind them. Mark Volter Elman also there, and Looking on the inside is Tubagus, and Tubagus overtakes Brody Steen for P3. Steen had been in P3 and very isolated for a long time. Looks like he's lost the podium, Alex Young.
Yeah, so Tubagus then, he's really impatient. I think you saw Ayman Hakim was catching and decided, okay, I got to get this move done, otherwise Ayman's going to be with us, and he didn't want that to happen. So he's going to try and get past Steen now. He's got two more DRSs. If he can just use it to good effect, maybe he can try and break this gap before Ayman closes.
Well, Ayman Hakim is there. That's in P5. We'll worry about that in just a second. Nakib is, well, there'll be one more lap after this. Is he on his last lap? No, not quite. There'll be one more lap after this.
No,
yeah, he's on his last lap.
He's on his last lap.
Yeah.
So just a quick question, Des. I don't know what's happened to Jason Tay. You know, Jason Tay, he took pole position, so we know how quick he is. But he's just not being able to stay with Nakib. You know, I thought, okay, maybe the gap might stabilize. Maybe Jason might even close down the gap a bit to Nakib. But the gap's actually gone out. So Jason's struggling a little bit for pace. He had a great pole lap and put it on pole, but not able to produce the same pace here in the race.
Nakib leads. It's almost his own race. It's not quite 10 seconds, 9.3, but he will just waltz his way into victory and a maximum point weekend for Nakib in terms of the races. He wasn't quickest in qualification. Jason Tay in second. Tubagus able to hold off Brody Steen at the moment, and Ayman Hakim not able to get on the back of Brody Steen as yet. Let's just continue the final victory lap for Mohamed Nakib, though. We've rather ignored him, Alex, because he has been so dominant since he took the lead.
Yeah, he has. Very, very great. Very, very good performance by the Malaysian. You know, he just settled down in race 1, got the win, and he's been maximum attack in race 2 in this reverse grid race the whole way, and a well-deserved win.
Mohamed Nakib makes it a win double for Malaysia and really boosts his overall championship chances. He takes the victory. Jason Tay comes in 9.5 seconds down for P2. Brody Steen's got himself back ahead of Tubagus for P3. Brody Steen in 3, Tubagus 4. Ayman Hakim tries to make a late move for P5, but that's how it's going to finish. Mark Voltaire Elman for Philippines in 6. Leveke, Melvin Moe, Khalif and Darren Even complete the top 10. Nicholas Stephen 11, but Josh Purwin nowhere. Purwin's championship may well be over, but Nakib's, Alex Young, is very much still very alive.
Yeah, it's just what the doctor needed. He came into this weekend 3rd position in the championship. Only 13 points off the lead when you consider drop scores. Another good day tomorrow could see him into the championship lead with one more round to go.
Nakib takes the victory. Jason Tay, a creditable if distant second. Brody Steen, great recovery on that final lap. Sorry we didn't show you the overtake maneuver to overtake Tubagus. A good day at the office for Hakim Voltaire Elman in P6. So, well, Nakib, there's the gauntlet thrown.
Yeah.
I take your gauntlet and I will beat you around the head with it, he says.
Yeah, so I mean, all set up. We saw in Group A, the championship rivals didn't have perfect days, and Nakib, he knew this was the time to do it. And like you said, he took the gauntlet and 2 race wins.
Fabulous stuff. So we are all set up for the final, which will take place tomorrow. It'll be about 4:30 that we're on air for the final of the Gold Edition. This is the penultimate round of the season, and we still have genuine races. Josh Purwin, though, he's had a nightmare day, Alex. That could be the end of his chances.
Yeah, I think that's his. Yeah, he won't be in the fight for the championship win anymore. But he's still 4th place in the championship. He'll be wanting to try and defend that.
Okay, so that's the Gold Edition. The final race will take place tomorrow and the final round next Friday and Saturday. Our attention will focus onto the Copper Edition next. To help us get there, we've been at the Imola circuit, Alex, and we've got a flying lap from one of the guys in the DTMs, Jason Tay.
Yeah.
Let's just remind ourselves of a flying lap around the Imola circuit.
Hello guys, my name is Jason and today I'll be taking you for a lap around the Imola circuit in my DTM car. So here we are on the main straight. Really easy to overtake someone here if you have DRS. be reaching speeds of up to 270 kilometers per hour at the end of it, if you have DRS. On the brakes at the 100 meter board for turn 2. On the gas for turn 3 and turn 4. Really important to get the braking for turn 2 right. Brush on the brakes at the 50 meter board for this sequence of corners. Try not to run on the gravel on the exit. Brush on the brakes at the 50 meter board. Be gentle on the gas on the exit. Don't want the rear end to come around over there. As we climb this small hill. Brush on the brakes at the 50 meter board. Use the curbs on the inside and the outside. Be gentle on the brakes through this sequence of corners. Don't want to be locking up through here. There's only one line through there and it will be interesting to see how it goes in the race. On the brakes before the 50 meter board. Climb on the right curb. Climb the left curb. Try not to use too much sausage curbs on the exit, as we will damage the suspension on the car in the goal final actually, when the full damage is on. Downhill braking before the 50 meter board. Use all of the track on the exit for the final corner as well, and back onto the main straight. And that is one lap of the Imola circuit.
Cracking little circuit. Different kind of vehicles though, out on the practice circuit at the moment. The World Touring cars, they've got 4 minutes. It's a completely different race. Zuriel Summerdebilia is the man who is the championship leader, but Edward Wong isn't too far away.
Yep.
How will he approach this circuit, Alex?
Well, good question. Well, he is third place in the championship right now. These are the championship orders right now. Zuriel Summerdebilia really dominating. Zarif Zohari in second. Edward Wong, who we just saw in third. Alan Escotto has dropped off the pace the last couple of laps. Yevon David, the younger brother of Yevan David, has come on strong recently as well. And Nasri Aslan, who started in copper, he's no longer, he's in bronze now, so he's no longer there.
So those are the points, Alex, when we don't take into account the fact that you can drop a round. Zuriel Summerdebilia, even if you drop your worst round, has still got a healthy lead. But Zarif, you can pick up a lot of points in a weekend. You can pick up 40 plus points. If Zuriel has a nightmare, then Zarif Hazi could well still come into the reckoning.
Yeah, that's very true, Des. So, yeah, we're still with Edward Wong. He's one of the few drivers that likes to drive the Lincoln Co car. They're one of these big blue, bit more boxy sort of cars. Most of the drivers here like the Hyundai or the Honda. But yeah, I mean, we've had such close racing. If you look at the gold, the silver, and the bronze, the championship are really on a knife edge. But copper is a bit more straightforward. Summerdebilia has just been a lot more consistent. Did a really good job in the last round, didn't he? He won very convincingly, and that's why he's leading. Where the other drivers, you know, the copper class, a lot of new drivers to this category. So you see a lot of up and down performances, and that's why Summerdebilia, he's able to be consistent, and that's why he's leading by so much.
Let's have a look. Zarif Haziq Johari. These cars handle very differently as well. How will Imola impact them? As you see, not a traditional line going over the AstroTurf as it is these days. AstroTurf makes life so much difficult. When it was grass, it must have been nightmarish for you, Alex.
Yeah, it was very tricky. You put a foot wrong, you're often in the barrier. The track these days actually looks a lot like there's a lot more space. You can see it's not as close as it used to be. You could quite often ride off a car here, not so much anymore. And the curbs used to be a lot more lethal. They've lowered them down a bit. They're not as bad as they used to be. But it is up and down, a bit like a roller coaster through many parts of the lap. Zarif here, he's in the Alfa Romeo, one of the more unusual looking cars. I do like that car. Oh, he's going to the pit lane. Maybe he's practicing a pit stop, although there are no pit stops in the WTCR class.
Maybe he thinks it's some zany tactic that's worthwhile doing. Let's look at Sri Murugan. Sri has always been great fun. He'll always be involved in battles. He gets the ire of his fellow contestants for being a little bit too aggressive sometimes, but you've given him some one-on-one telling offs, Alex, and he seems to listen.
Yeah, he's new to the sport, so he doesn't understand some of the rules, especially when you're talking about weaving and how you can block someone, how you defend and how you attack. These are all the little bits that you can pick up when you watch Formula 1 races, but until you actually do it yourself, you don't really know what's happening. And that's what a lot of that's happening in Copper class, a lot of educating for the drivers so that they know what they're doing and so that they can improve it and hopefully move up the classes.
We're just coming to the end of the practice session. When qualification kicks in, Amo Hazika, a well-known e-racer, is going to be in the commentary chair. Alex will talk through qualification with him, then I'll join Amo for the race itself. But in terms of Copper, Zuriel Sumadabila is the man who is the overall championship leader. Yeah. And he's been very, very consistent. Maybe too good for this Copper class, Alex.
Let's have a look at the spotters guide actually right now. So, practice is just about finished. Qualifying is about to begin, and this is the spotters guide that we can see. Zuriel Sumadabila, he's fastest of all. He's championship leader. The top 8 there in championship positions. You look further down, all these drivers, this how they qualify in the weekly leaderboard to qualify these classes. So the guys outside the top 8, they all have to qualify. Some well-known names there. Adrian Ferguson actually is a very well-known karter in the region. Adam Contreras has been here for a while. Peter Dutoit, Rigo Dutoit from Vietnam, they've joined us quite a bit. So, and all the different cars that are there.
So we are all just about ready. This is the eRacing GP. It's the Copper edition. We've got 4 categories or 4 standards for you: copper, bronze, silver, and the gold levels. Tomorrow we will have the silver and the bronze medal race as well as the gold final. But for the copper levels, it's the starters. Expect 1 or 2 mistakes, although there has been, as the commentary has said, some real improvement from the racers throughout this season, particularly the likes of Edward Wong. Obviously, Zuriel, as championship leader, has been outstanding, but Edward Wong is one of those who has improved incrementally race on race on race, Alex.
Yeah, that is very true. So we should be going into the qualifying. But yes, Edward Wong from Malaysia, he has improved. We saw his picture earlier on, 3rd place in the championship. Yes, here we go. It took a while for some reason. The server was taking a while to get into qualifying. But now we are well into qualifying. And here we go. So let's follow a lap. Championship leader right now. We're right on board with him. As he gets messy, he decides, all right, I'm not going to do that. That was a mess. Let's just restart the whole thing. And he makes another mess of it. Will he restart again? Yeah, okay, well, 3rd time lucky. Here we go again. Zuriel, come on, brake a bit earlier, make the apex. There we go. Now, penultimate corner. Now going through the last corner. We'll ride on him for a qualifying lap and see where he goes. Out of the last corner, down this long start-finish straight. In my days when I did Formula 1, there was a really tight chicane just before the before the grid here. They've got rid of it. Quite like it. It's a lot better now to have this long straight. You can actually overtake now into the first couple corners. And our first few corners really well known for being a Tamburello, which is the 3rd bit of the chicane. It's left, right, left. This is where a bit of unfortunate history for Ayrton Senna there. Now a short straight down to turns 5 and 6, which they now call Villeneuve. Really kind of carry speed to this first one. Touch the brakes and then use all the road in the exit. Now to Tosa, one of the most famous hairpins in the world. So much history through here. It's unchanged after all these years. The WTCR car, you have very late turning because you want to get the car nice and straight for the exit there, up the hill. In a DTM car, you use a slightly different line. Now up for this left-hander up here, Piratella, carrying massive speed, and then downhill steeply again. It's like a roller coaster. You really get shot out of the roller coaster down. You brake so late for Aqua Minerale. You brake here in a DTM car, a bit earlier in a WTCR car, and then you just got shot out the back and back up the roller coaster again and over the brow. It happens so quickly. Really good fun. Zuriel is fastest of all in Sector 1. As we come to the end of Sector 2, now for the chicane. Very tight chicane. They've always made a hash of it. Big hash of it. Okay. That's it. He'll start again. Ammo. Let's have a look at this. Maybe look at another car, shall we?
I think we can just stick with Zuriel because, being championship leader, he might be on the pace, but it's just that he hasn't gotten anything right at the moment. We saw that he did it twice at the start lap, and now he did it during his final lap. So hopefully we can stick with him and we can see if he can improve his time. Oh wait, we changed to another driver. This is Sumadabila. Start in.
So with Zuriel at the moment, I just wanted to see where Zarif was, who else would be fighting for pole position right now. See if anyone is finishing their lap. Edward Wong right now, he's finishing his lap. Let's just watch him right now. Will this be good enough for pole position? Chu at the moment from Singapore has pole with a 54.6. But look at that, Edward Wong, 53.7. Very good. But now, Amo, let's go follow Zuriel.
Yep, now he's coming through Villeneuve chicane and it was, again. Just as we get on pole, he just stops.
Oh,
And
that's disaster for him. He's not going to have enough time to start the lap. That was the wrong move, Zuriel. I don't know what you were thinking there. Definitely a wrong move.
Yep, and the fact that he just had enough time to even complete that lap. If it was bad, he would still at least be in the top 10, but or at least at worst he would not be at the back. Now he's gonna have to do it all from race 1 right at the back, and that is disastrous for his championship.
Well, he's got a big lead there. This is the man in second position, Zarif Johari. We are watching Zarif right now. Zarif, he's 6/10 down in sector 1. That's not really good. Oh, Alan Escotto's gone quickest right now. Alan Escotto, let's just go see him again. And the Hyundai has gone quickest with a 53.3. He's still on a second lap, so he could improve. Let's go back to Zarif though. He's, oh, look at that. 6/10 down in sector 1, 7/10 down in sector 2. Nah, let's not follow him. He's not going to be in a fight for pole position. But this man, Edward Wong, oh, he's half tenth down on his first sector, so he's not going to be in for the fight for pole position either. So it looks like this man, Alan Escotto, he kind of gone off the boil in the last couple of races. But look at this, what a performance. He's on pole position right now, and I can't see anyone challenging him at the moment.
Great rebound in form for him because he has not scored points in any of the races and qualifying since the Red Bull Ring in the first race at the Red Bull Ring. So this is going to do him wonders in his championship battle. At least at best he could finish third, depending on where Wong's right now. Wong's second, so this is going to be a battle all the way in the second race.
Yeah, so Alan Escotto, he takes pole position. Really, really super happy for him because we felt he should be winning in this class. But like you said, the last couple of races, he's just not been there. And so it's been a big problem for Alan. So it's good to see him back on top though.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like this, he could try and eke out a win. Or he could defend for his life and try to at least get something out of this. Because there's plenty of fast drivers right behind him hungry for the same goal as well.
So, okay, we have an unusual lineup here, don't we? And I say that Zuriel, he puts it on pole.
Out of nowhere. And we thought that he didn't have enough time.
That should not have happened. He definitely did not have enough time. He restarted with 1 minute 52 to go, and he hadn't even gone across the start-finish line. Somehow, there was enough time for him. I don't know what has happened here. By my calculation, this should never happen. And to be honest, it's still going on. It's a little bit like practices now. Practice took a long time to finish. Qualifying took a long time to finish. But it's played into Zuriel's hands, and he's now in pole position.
By half a second too, and yeah, whatever that Subadibia was doing in the background, that has paid wonders for him because it looked like he wasn't going to be on pole, and for some reason he just pulled the rabbit out of the hat, and there he is. He has a big chance of increasing his championship lead.
Yeah. Okay, now down to the race. We can see here now. Let's see, we'll get Des back onto the commentary booth with you, mate, Amo. The cars line up. Wow, Sumadubila got a bit lucky there, I think. I don't think he should have had pole position, but he has got pole position right now. And he's starting right at the front.
15-minute race. The red lights, when they go off, it'll be Zuriel Sumadubila, surprise pole, who is on the start, and he's got off to a good start as well. Alan Escotto is alongside him, and Sumadubila, the championship leader. Well, we thought that this could be a nightmare weekend for him. It's turned out to be very, very different. He's got the lead. He's taken Yevon David, Alan Escotto, and Edward Wong through with him into the front four. And Amo, talk about taking advantage late on. Sumadubila, there's a reason why you're top of the standings, and Sumadubila, with his late qualification, his late pole, and his lead into the third corner, that is how champions are made.
Yep, it's a champion's drive, and it's a champion's drive to pull it off in qualifying still. Oh, there's a hit there from Edward Wong. Anyway, back to Sumadubila. Someone has said about him in the comments, Nizar on Facebook. He says, looks like Zuriel got an extra time voucher to set that pole lap. I bet he did. It's just something that you don't see. Normally, you don't have enough time to even cross the line when you're even a second behind. But yet, he managed to do it anyway.
It's very competitive, but Sri Murugan had a bit of a nightmare. He's right the way down. Zarif Hazik, we often talk about Zarif Hazik. He's got himself up into P6 at the moment. He's just behind Axel Mariano. So Zuriel, although he's got off to a great start and was on pole, he's not having everything his own way at the moment, Amo.
Not yet, and he goes around the outside there at the Variante Alta. Pushes Mariano a bit wide, but I think that'll be fair because he did leave it open for him. At least he's getting positions. He needs to decrease the gap between himself and somebody in the championship, and he needs to start making positions now. Otherwise, that gap will grow even bigger. As look at that, is that one? Yes, it is. Edward Wong goes wide, and that's another free position for him.
I think it might have been Yevon David who went wide. He lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions. Wong is in P3, Alan Escotto in 2, but the race leader by 0.85 of a second is Zuriel Summerdebilia. You know what? I think he can actually wrap up the title this weekend if he wins this race. We'll confirm that in the post-race analysis, but Summerdebilia could well be champion after 5 of 6 rounds, Amo. That would be some performance.
And what a way to do it. We thought that he actually lost it in qualifying, but to wrap it up here right now, that's just beyond words to describe how he might be feeling right now. It's a way a champion will win it. It's when people don't expect you to win it, but you do.
Gab Quintos is on board on Facebook. He says, nice one, Yell and Alan. He's supporting there. Zuriel and Alan Escotto are on P1 and 2. Axel Mariano in P6. Janelli Cruz in P7. Noel Soriano on debut in P11. Big Filipino contingent there. Let's look at the Malaysian contingent. And Edward Wong, he's improved throughout this season, Edward, hasn't he? He's been one of those who has been able to pick up points, Edward. Currently third in the table. He had a second place in race 1 in the first. Actually, he's had a podium in all 3 races so far, but he's yet to get a race win.
Yep, he's knocking on that door, and 2 podiums so far shows his credentials as a driver who's consistently on the podium, on the rostrum. But as of yet, he's still not able to crack that front 2 just yet.
Just looking further down, Yannick David is the third of the David brothers. He is currently in P16, right on the back of Jahan Kalam. The Hyundai putting pressure on there. There's good racing throughout. Peter Dutoit from Vietnam. He's in a battle there with Noel Soriano as well. The easy to pick out yellow DHL delivery. Peter Dutoit. But at the front, the reason we're focusing on them is because at the front, Zuriel Summerdebilia has pulled out nearly a full second in the opening 4 minutes of this race, Amo.
Yep. About a second, and the fact that they don't have DRS to close in anyway, this is all just traditional overtaking. But he's looking very comfortable here at the moment. He's on his way to quite possibly a championship. We're not sure yet. We need to work out permutations later. But yeah, this is a sort of drive that really exudes a lot of confidence from him. He's not making any mistakes. In qualifying, we thought he'd make mistakes that would cost it, but in the end, he's still leading the way. And that's just, beating the stuffing out of his rivals.
Yeah, the Hyundai of Alan Escotto, who at one stage we thought was going to be quickest. We kept on going on and off board with Alan Escotto in qualification. He's not too far behind. Is this that Escotto is driving well, or Zuriel just driving within his capabilities?
Or maybe Zuriel's just driving at half capacity.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. It's half capacity. Yeah, because you might expect that within the last few races that Summerdebilia has dominated. In fact, he's won at least one race in every round. He was second in Nürburgring for all 3, including qualifying. So, yeah, he's not driving at full capacity at the moment. I think he's just taking it easy. He's just probably toying with his rivals.
Nice little battle for P4 here. This is Zarif Hazik in the Alfa Romeo under pressure from Axel Mariano. And young Axel accelerates down the hill. That's nicely done from Axel. And Zarif Hazik Johari finds himself going backwards. And where he wants to be challenging Summerdebilia, he's actually now in P5.
And Axel returned the favour there to Zarif at that same corner, the Variante Alta. He pushed him just slightly wide on the opening lap where Zarif tried to come on the inside, and he just opened the door a bit, ran a bit wide at the Variante Alta, and then he let him through. So I bet that there'll be no protest from from Axel from that.
It looked pretty smooth up at the front. Summerdebilia, yeah, he just looks so composed. He should be racing bronze, maybe even silver maybe that the champions will automatically be elevated a couple of levels up. Ascotto in P2, Wong in P3, Mariano in 4. Let's think who's further down. Regal de Troyes, we've kept an eye on Regal de Troyes throughout the season. He's in P11. There's a good chase. 5 racers there looking for a battle for P9.
And he's driving in a car that is supposedly suited for this track, because according to the history of at least TCR Italy, where the only time that TCR cars do race here in the national championship, Cupras have won 4 of the 6 races they've had here.
Young Gavin David is having a bit of a tough time out there. 22nd and 11 seconds down in his Hyundai. Looks like he's received a bit of a bashing as well. And Sean Sear is also another who's struggling in the Alfa Romeo. He's up into P20 now. All that does, though, is tell us that how far ahead Zuriel Sumadebilia is.
And just now somebody was in the gravel. I think it was Jehan Kalam. Yeah, there he is. He just dropped the position. He was in the gravel, and there he is. He tried to reverse it out, but unfortunately his car was slightly beached. And now, surprisingly, he managed to dig it out of the sand at Tosa.
Well, he's done well, but he's a long way down. He is the 22nd out of 22, who is in the pits for good. Further down, Adam Kondrolochis in P14. He's under pressure from Mohamed Fikri and Akid Basaron. Akid was on Facebook earlier on today. We welcome your thoughts. Most of the Filipino guys there are out there. They're the ones who are supporting each other. And Zuriel Sumadebilia is the man who is in the lead. Where's the other Filipinos? Here's Noel Soriano. What do we make of Noel Soriano? As Zarif is dropping backwards, Amo.
Oh, he's dropping like a stone. He has not gotten this race, laid down at all. He is actually going down even further. So, whatever happened to Zarif, either because he saw that Sumadebilia just out-qualified him by a big margin, or the fact that the car's not even doing well here. But whatever it is, this is the point in this race that he's losing his championship challenge is fading faster than the water going through vapor.
It certainly is. Good analysis. I like that one. Okay. Have you driven this track as an e-racer, Amo?
Oh, a lot, because this is actually, I'm gonna say it here, is one of my favorite tracks, even more than Spa, because it's such a beautiful track right out here in Imola. And contrary to popular belief, it's not actually in San Marino. It is still in Italy actually. It just took the name because San Marino is just close by. If anything, it's actually closer to Faenza, which is the base for Minardi, Alex's former team. So yeah, it's in a beautiful part of Italy. It's a great track and I love it. It's technical, it's fast, it's a classic European track.
Zuriel Sumadebilia is actually making it look relatively easy now once again. He is the guy who is pulled a 2.25 seconds, a 1.3 lead over Alan Ascotto, Edward Wong in P3. It's turned into a little bit of a procession, which we don't like in e-racing. Gentlemen, let's get some contact going, please.
Oh, well, it's going to have to happen from Zuriel, actually. He's going to have to make a major mistake like what Ayman did. It's right in contention, but as of now, no mistakes at all. It is just smooth sailing, apart from qualifying from the first 2 runs that he aborted, and the 1 lap that he actually cut at Villeneuve. He has not put a foot wrong in the race at all. So, it's boring, but it is what champions are. They always create boring races.
Okay, a lot of damage to the car there of Adam Kondrolochis as he loses a place to Akid Basaron. Akid's a new name for eRacing GP. Welcome along. He's got himself up into P14. Kondrolochis in 15. Mohamed Fikri 16. This is where the real racing is going on. Noel Soriano, he's under pressure from Regal de Troyes in P10. But I've got to keep taking us back to Sumadebilia. We're looking for him to make a mistake, or a neutral eye is looking for Zuriel to make a mistake. He just doesn't look like he's going to make one, Amo.
No, I wouldn't say he wouldn't make a mistake, Des, but yeah, at the moment, it looks smooth sailing for him unless something monumental happens. A back marker gets in the way, or one of these. But as of now, not yet. He's still pretty much smooth sailing at the front.
Looks like we've got a little bit of lag on the feed on Facebook anyway. Please bear with us. Friday night seemed to be an awkward time for lagging. Zuriel Sumadebilia, he's just posted a lap time there of 4/10 quicker than Alan Ascotto. He is
but he's not dropping him. It's only 4 hundredths. So this could actually go all the way to the end if somebody loses pace or Ascotto increases his pace. But whatever it is, Filipinos will rejoice in any of them winning today.
Gav Quintos wearing his Farrell Iman into P5. And that is good news for the Philippines. But the live feed is being interrupted. So sorry about that. We're trying to work on the lag. Saturday will be a lot better. A quieter night. But Summer Debilia enjoying a quiet time. Escotto isn't being dropped. You quite rightly made that comment, Amo.
Yeah, it's only under a second now. It's just fluctuating, yo-yoing between a second. And the fact that the lap times are not that far off. In fact, last lap was actually in favor of Escotto. He's 5/10 faster. In fact, last lap was actually in favor of Escotto. He's 5/10 faster. So Sumudibia is dropping his pace a bit, and he's not losing him. He's not losing Escotto by any means. So Escotto now will have the impetus to actually chase him even faster this lap.
But what those front two are doing, Amo, is they're dropping Edward Wong. Axel Mariano is trying to get closer. But Edward maybe just lull you into a sense of fault.
To just do the job quietly is the ones that Escotto, he will actually still
He probably will. Zarif Hazik has had a bit of a nightmare time. P8, but he's probably far. It will be the last lap and head from gate to flag. Assuming there's no, it's just the outstanding competitor in this
Asia ACC league, and he's fast there, so he's no copper driver.
way down. He had that dreadful start, but
And now here's the drop to Rivatsa, the start finish line. He will not make it now through Variante Bassa, which used to be a finish, and this is victory.
seconds in the end over a brave Mariano for 3 and 4. Janelli Cruz make it Philippines 1-2. Peter Dutois, I think that's best result of the season. P7 for him, and Zarif, a frustrating P8. This guy who had hopes of maybe upsetting Zoriel Summer Debilia for the title, and when Zoriel in the copper class, and
He could take comfort in the fact that he's already won this first round. He's proved to the opposition that he is a fast guy, and championship rival could get close to him. So, yeah, he could take the second race easy. He can just put his feet up. No, not literally, of course, he's still driving. But, yeah, he could put his feet up metaphorically and relax.
so Summer Debilia in the Hyundai picks up the first place, 25 points. Alan Escotto 20 plus 2 for the fastest lap. Hyundai doing well. Mariano 3 and 4. Janelli Cruz makes it a really good day for the Philippines, who also had Soriano on debut in the top 15. You are watching the eRacing GP. We're at Imola. It is the Copper Edition, the reverse grid race, race number 2. Now this looks like it's a much more technically difficult course to make the overtaking maneuvers on, Amo. So might Zoriel Summer Debilia just show some circumspection here?
Well, there's I think he might be taking it easy because we're knowing that how chaotic these races can be. He could also take into solace that, take comfort in the fact that a lot of people might take each other right anyway, so he will not rush it, and the fact that he's got his capture already sewn. In terms of overtaking, we saw like in 2005, 2006, where Schumacher and Alonso, and then it was Alonso Schumacher, how difficult it was to overtake here. So he will bide his time. It might not be a long race, but it will be a chaotic one.
We are just a few seconds away from the red lights, which is the starting moment. It's when everybody gets there. On pole position will be Arjuna Santa and Yevon David. It's Santa that you can see on the outside lane there. That is the pole position, but it's Yevon David who looked like he got a flying family achievement. So Yevon leads, Arjuna Santa second, Yannick David third, Adrian Ferg.
And that was like he had the MacGuffin right there and he lost it. Oh, yeah!
Adrian Ferguson. So Sean Sayer is the new race leader.
And I think Arjuna Santa might be getting quiet, but the still is there because
Zoriel Summer Debilia, meantime, has got himself up into P12 in that ruck of people and the top 10.
And did I say before that it would be chaotic? And it has proven so. He could take it easy now. Look at that. He didn't have to look at that. That was chaotic, and he was right in the middle of the way. He can do anything.
So Sean Sear goes from...
It's a Zeta, so yeah. It's way at the back. That's a really bad day for the Alphas and really bad day for Zarif Hazik.
half seconds.
And he can have this race already sewn. 3 seconds in touring car terms is like... And Escotto, this is a 3-second gap. He's got this race sewn, so he can just take it easy here right now.
I've never heard 3... Russia, is it Asia Russia or European Russia, Amo?
I would say the...
Has made a mistake!
Oh!
And Summer Debilia from P6 will find himself maybe out of the race. He's in the...
He's out. The damage is terminal. The damage is terminal. The front of the engine's gone and he's out of his race. So the guy who won is only 15 points for a win.
So Adrian Ferguson, the lead is up to 4 seconds now. Second place is For Indonesia, Arjuna Santa P3, Jahan Kalan, Sri Murugan is always worth it.
Oh yes, that's I can say definitely again, but yes, it's actually a pretty good debut, bro.
Okay, it gives us a chance to focus on one or two new racers. Adrian Ferguson, let's just look through the mentality. If you've got a lead like this, which seconds now, is he driving particularly well? Because the racers behind him aren't racing.
Full capacity. You can see how hard he's pushing. Yeah, it doesn't look much from afar, but in actuality, he is really pushing this. He's trying to increase that gap between. So look at that. The car just slides a bit.
New name for us, the Singaporean is in the lead. Fikri is in second place, but he's got Arjuna Santa for company.
And if Arjuna Santa gets a penalty for that push against Yannick David at the start, he could be up in the
order at the start of this race. Now, Ferguson still leads.
Sorry, go back to Akid. At the back, that was commentator's blind. I'm sorry, Akid.
Akid Bassarom was going really barge Akid, and poor old Akid from glory to nowhere.
He unfortunately went for the highest, for the most amount of chips, and he went away broke because they are much heavier than DTM cars, and it takes a while for them to stop. So that's unfortunate.
Between the David brothers, you've got Yevin there and Yannick David in P11 and P12. Sorry, I thought it was a little bit closer than that. Pulled him off. Behind them, he's got Peter Dutoit, Axel Mariano, and Alan Escotto in there as well.
And look at that, it's a mishmash of different.
Getting it completely wrong. Sri Murugan drops 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places.
Because according to the circuit itself, it might not be the most, it might not be a laser scan version of Imola, but in a few kilometers per hour in speed.
Sri Murugan, feel for him. He's dropped down from a position where he was up to 5 seconds, but it's 4.8 at the moment. And are you seeing any fatigue, any errors from Ferguson?
He slides the car. Like, here, look at that. That is a driver who's not backing off at all. He is actually pushing it. He's scrubbing those front tires, taking it as if it's still a rear-wheel drive car, but yeah.
For P2 ahead of Arjuna Santa, Shazil, Axel Mariano, Alan Escotto.
And yeah, he is also having the best weekend as possible because with the guys.
We mentioned Zuriel Sumadabilia. He is still becalmed. He crashed out for the first time this season. Not looking like he's crashing out.
Best time. That's impressive, to say the least. Because you're normally in the race because you have fuel and tire wear, and it drops off. And the fun fact about Acqua Minerali is named so because in Italian it literally means mineral water. And outside of the circuit, there's actually a natural spring.
Major challenge, but with 2 full laps still to go, maybe 3. I think Fikri needs to make sure he's consolidated.
Put a foot wrong at all.
This is where the real battle is. Battle for P4. Shazil Iman is the man in control at the moment. Alan Escotto, despite crashing out literally in race number 2, he has a virtually unassailable lead at the top of the standings.
Yeah, I think that's what we have to do, isn't it? We just have to take our hats off to him. He's had a great copper. Obviously, he needs to get bumped up to bronze or maybe silver. He's obviously very, very, very good. Just able to be more complete. We need to check, obviously, our drop round points. We'll get timekeeping to work on it in a sec. But yeah, I think that might be Zuriel's championship. I don't think there are enough points left for the final round for anyone to do it because his other contenders also didn't have stellar weekend today. Yeah. But great, it's Copper is really a experiment for us, to try and see if we can get some more new drivers in the championship. And it's led to some interesting incidents, but it's really been good to see so many more enthusiastic drivers come into the series and take part with us in Copper.
If you're still on the stream on Facebook, apologies for the lag. We are working on it. It's a Friday night problem, we suspect. Saturday, we've had less problems. Saturday, a whole new lot of racing to come. You've got bronze, silver, and a gold final, which threatens, Alex, to really blow the championship wide open if Naqib Aslan can get another good race weekend.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, let's not forget Andika Rama. He's going to have to start at the back now. I think he does make the final, but he starts at the back. I feel for him. He'll have to have a race win if he wants to stay in the championship fight. So it's realistically, it's going to be between, like you said, Naqib you just mentioned, and Alif, the Singaporean. They're going to go at it hammer and tongs tomorrow for sure. I can see them practicing late in the night tonight as they get ready for tomorrow's race.
Okay, that's still to come tomorrow. That final around about 4:30. The silver and bronze kick off around about 2 o'clock. Unofficially, we can say congratulations to Zuriel Sumerdabilia. I think he's won the copper class. To be confirmed, but it'd be a major upset if he hasn't. You're watching eRacing GP. Despite the lag, hope you've enjoyed the racing today. It's been good to be back after a week off. From Alex Young, myself, Des Corkill, Amo Hazik, who was in the commentator's chair, and the team behind the scenes. Happy racing.